All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of I Said What I Said. I'm your host, Mr. Roby Hollywood. I'm very excited about today's episode. My guest today is a stand-up comedian out of our beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. Hey, listen, brother. Let me get into this introduction, then we're gonna start shitting on Toronto right after that. You know, we can get started, and we can start the shitting right after that. Mr. Jamie Donnel.
Woohoo! Applause.
Welcome, sir. Yeah. I don't actually have an applause. I should get one of those like applause sound effects. Right? Yeah, man. Maybe
or do it live. Live podcast. They can be. That I can't imagine doing like a live one, and then if it's not interesting, just looking out into a sea. Just like, I would have ended this a long time ago.
So, some guys in the stand-up community out here, I know a couple guys that try it like from time to time.
I know Paul and Natish do. I haven't seen it. I'd love to just go live because I like just seeing Natish high as fuck, just ranting,
just ranting and going on.
Funny.
He's pretty funny. He's pretty
great.
funny. Fuck, man. Shit. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on. I've checked out like when I don't think I was familiar with your comedy prior to you reaching out to come on the show and so on and so forth. And I had a chance to check it out, man. Shit, that shit is hilarious.
Thanks. The videos I posted, the one I had to be really clean because it was for like JFL showcase I'm doing on Saturday.
Shit, this Saturday coming up.
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Tell the people, man.
The Rose Theater. There's two shows. There's the 8 p.m., which is the one with the executives, and that one's sold out, so they added a second one. So I think that one's about 50% sold out for the second show. That's going to be, in my opinion, the more fun one. Because the first one, I'm just going to be nervous and trying not to swear. I got like maybe one fuck, which I kind of like because then you save the fuck for like a really good moment. And so I had, when I was recording it, I was, you know when you do a set that you've done a lot of times with material, it kind of is on autopilot.
Right.
I was the entire time, my mouth was autopilot.
Right.
And my brain was just constantly going, don't say fuck, don't say fuck. And I didn't. I only did it the one time that I intended to.
Right.
But the whole time, I was like, I really, like, apparently the exec, I forget her name. I'm pulling a blank right now. Zoe sent an email and was like, don't worry about swearing. Don't worry about being totally clean. It's not like this is going on TV.
Right.
So I was like, okay, good. If I fuck up, I'll be fine.
Right.
But the second one is like, okay, the anxiety's gone.
Yeah.
I can just say whatever.
You're like, fuck it. You started with the fuck, and then you go into the set itself.
Yeah.
But I don't like how there is now this aggressive, I guess, approach to where now comedy is being required to be more and more clean.
I think it's always been that way.
Not like this though, man. Because now,
words,
yeah.
The words had to be clean. Now the
subject matters.
The subject and more words are considered not clean.
Yeah.
So before it was just the 7 dirty words, George Carlin. Now it's like the 31 subjects you don't talk about. And it's just, I feel like it not only has been ruining the fun in comedy. Like remember, like when we, I don't know how long have you been doing this now? 3 years.
3 years now, right? I'm going into, like, let's say 2012, so I'm going to my 7th year.
Yeah.
But I remember getting into it, guys like, like George Carlin, like, who's the guy that died, the black guy? Fuck, he's hilarious. Who was hilarious? Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, like, imagine Patrice O'Neal coming out in 2019. How would that go?
I don't want to speculate what he would say, but I feel like most people have a pretty good idea of him. Like every time, I always think of that Fox interview when he just kind of brilliantly summed it up as every joke starts from the same place, and most people just see the finished product. You can't even because most of the time you throw out an idea or just no one ever just goes like, man, I really need to do some some good old tranny material, and then come up with it like Andrew Schultz.
Oh man, did you have you been watching those views from the sis?
He's great.
He is hilarious.
We need him right now.
And my god!
And I doubt he went like, okay, here's my list of hot buttons. He probably was just sitting around talking.
Yeah,
and then just said like, man, why is tranny offensive? It's just like granny. And then I guarantee you he went okay, and then went for. But no one ever sits and goes like. Okay, like I thought of a.
Let me find a way to offend the transgender. Let me make sure that I never get on Netflix.
Yeah, like
this is my goal.
And that's after him, but no one ever goes into it maliciously and goes. It's always from the. You always have to think what you're saying is funny,
right?
And you're really just trying to express it to make people understand why it's funny. You're just trying to like. This is why I think it's funny. How do I best translate that to other people? And if you don't. At least know that I'm just trying to be fun. Like I thought of a dumb joke today, where it's like I can't wait. Like my girlfriend, she went to go get breakfast at like 8 a.m, and there's old people walked in, and they were looking at her like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I can't." And same with she's like, "I can't wait to get old." I'm like, me too. I can't wait to get old and go to a Japanese restaurant just so I can order niggery sushi,
so I can get away with it. I was like, but you know what it is? I think there are too many shitty comedians because there are certain subject matters that you have to have a certain elevated skill set to be able to approach them. Because
of course
there are some comics, and especially like even we're not gonna name any names because we're not out here trying to like get banned from shows and
just
shit.
Get the cough button.
Because the cancel culture in the Toronto stand-up community is vicious. But there are some guys in the community right now who are trying to brand themselves as these like super cringe, like super like, not offensive, but they're trying to hit those kind of like hot button subjects.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just comes out cringe as
fuck. I feel like too, if the whole stigma or not, I don't know fucking word to say. I think they're doing it because no one else is. And it's not like the market is open. It's just like
there's a high demand for trainee jokes in the market.
I think like when I come up with or even just I'm like, can someone else who's not because I wouldn't want to do it, but it's like I can't because I don't know the approach.
Right.
But it's like, can someone who's like a talented seasoned comic, can they at least? No? Okay, well, fuck. I'll try it.
See, to me, like, an example that I always use, there is this Louis C.K. bid where he uses the words nigger, faggot, and cunt.
Next to each other. Stupid nigger, faggot, whatever the fuck
my God, like, this guy, no. He explains how there are certain words
I know that bit, like, off by heart.
Yeah, like, but see, when you look at it as, those words in the hands of a less able comic, my God, like, you're getting dragged. Like, you cannot do a bid.
Is it just me or is it really loud in here? Sorry.
Is it? Oh, fuck. No, maybe, like, I have one of those voices maybe that...
Yeah, because I can't tell what that... Sorry.
It's just coming from the mic or whatever. Yeah. Maybe it's the Jimmy that's
yeah, you're saying about the Louis thing.
Yeah, so, like, the way that he... the way that he concocts the bid, the way he puts it all together... Mm-hmm. Like it's to me, it's the most beautiful piece of art, like bar none, including all Jay-Z albums. You know what I'm saying? Like I can watch that bit over and over just with just the skillfulness of it.
And the thing is too is he had to work that out. So can you imagine
the first time he tried it?
No, I can imagine the first time he tried it because. And that's not, and that special came out. He wasn't quite. He. It's not like he got away with the stuff that, you know what I mean. He wasn't quite where he is well known.
Right.
But he was still in a New York comedy scene where he had to go. Okay, these are 3 words. How do I make this funny?
Right. Because it didn't come out like that. It did not come. That was not the original product. Yeah. I'm sure there was some kinks that had to be worked out, and there must have been some nights where he went to like the comedy.
And can you
cellar.
imagine if someone like videotaped it and then like branded him? Like that's the weird part is you got to go through those. And I've seen people start bits that may not be offensive by whatever stretch, but or even they're just personally like you're like, oof. Like that was like it was even stuff that seems too dark, and then I'll hear them do it a month later, and it's almost identical, and you're like, that's fucking hilarious. Like Kyle Lucy, I think is the best of that. He'll say something I'll hear him do it for the first time, and I'm like, ooh. But I'm like, I trust that, and sure enough, once he gets the like energy and timing and the words right, and he puts it in the right spot.
Right.
He made me laugh. I think the hard like last 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I told him after. I'm like, I haven't laughed that hard.
Wow.
Like watching, especially jokes I've already
you've already heard. Yeah.
I was like, dude, that was fucking. I'm like, I hope you recorded that, and he was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, well, just remember exactly what you did.
Right. No, I feel like that's also, it's funny you just mentioned that. That's. I feel like that's the hardest thing about the open mic grind, is especially if you're going out often. Do you ever? And I kind of like have this sense, like, when you first try a bit, like the first time you worked on it, you wrote it, boom, and it lands and it kills. But then you go out the second day and it's the same exact comics that were in the room. And eventually you do it long enough and you're looking at the audience and these motherfuckers are miming, like they know where your punchline is coming.
Well, that especially because I usually start with a similar, like I always feel like a hack if there's comics that have seen me do, even if they've only seen me do the bit like twice. Yeah. I'm always just like, man,
come on. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Like I hate, that's why I try not to. I don't even look at audience members. I always look just slightly above people's heads. Even if I go to look down.
Sounds very pretentious of you. I'm like, I only raise my nose at these commoners.
Yeah, I look straight up and I go stare at my chin. Wow. You don't deserve to look at my eyes.
You do not deserve to make eye contact with me, peasant.
It's just a way for me to not have to react, especially if I say something because if I say something that most people are laughing at, and maybe it gets a groan, or I see someone, like, because I'll be in the back and I'll see someone in the audience like shaking their head, and I'm like, if I saw that on stage, it would just throw me off. Like, have you ever heard like Nick DiPaolo, if someone makes a face, even he's like, "What, you think this is funny?" Like he'll, and I'm like, I don't want to be that. I don't like pointing. I don't like singling out. I'm not I'm not like a crowd work kind of guy.
All right.
When I do, it's got to be like, if I ask a question that has to do with the bit, like I have a bit about doing Taekwondo, and I go, does anyone here? Because part of the premise is how Taekwondo is all patterns. Mm-hmm. So people who know martial arts can like kind of vouch for me how it's such a weird like thing to learn when you first start, especially. It's all just these patterns, and there's no. You're like, this is not reasonable at all.
This isn't a street fight. Would not be.
Yeah. So I pointed some out, and the guy happened to be like Japanese, but he took something that wasn't Japanese, and I called him like a traitor or something. I don't fucking remember. And I'm like, okay, that worked out perfectly. But I wouldn't just be like, hey, why aren't you laughing?
Right.
What kind of shitty question is that to
ask?
I know.
Not only that, see, to me, like crowd work, it depends. I have a couple bids that involve the audience, but it depends. Like, say for example, if I'm doing like Absolute or Yuck Yucks, and there is actually a large audience, then sometimes comics, when you try to involve them in, they're like, come on, bro. And plus, also, if you're doing open mics too, I got 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it.
I don't want to waste it on having a back and forth, especially if it's like 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, and these motherfuckers are looking at you like, come on, brother. You know what I mean? And
if you're doing like a headlining set, and like that you have some sort of relationship with the audience, and you can like, oh, you look like you're having a good, like, but I would never be like, you look miserable, ma'am.
Yeah.
Because then that would suck if they just roasted you so hard and you're like, ah, shit.
You know what's so funny though? Like the first time I've ever done stand-up, the whole entire set was about how. So I'll pick on a couple. I'm like, so I pick on a guy. I'm like, hey, your idea of date night is to bring your girl to an amateur comedy night to watch a bunch of guys with major self-confidence issues tell jokes because our government mandated therapist told us that this will be helpful. And the whole entire time I go on about how if he continues on this trend, his girl is gonna leave him for a black guy. Then the whole bid is about how the whole thing unfolds, and it absolutely murdered.
So your first time doing stand-up, you went straight to crowd work.
Oh yeah, right away. Like, and it's like sometimes I watch that video and like it killed, man. Like sometimes they say that it's bad luck as a comedian if your first time is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
My first time was, mind you, like it was Pro-Am night at Absolute.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had known that there was a month time frame where like I polished the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
I went in because it's my first time, and
if you haven't constantly thought about that 5 minutes and rehearsed it over and over and over.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know how you're. I don't know how you're not that nervous your first time.
No, but see, I don't know what it is.
No, but that's the thing. You actually like.
I worked in sales too, and like I had no problem being in front of because I was I worked at that time. I worked as a consultant.
Yeah.
Where I was doing like sales training. So I used to stand in front of like audiences of like 40, 50 people, and it wasn't really that issue. It was just that like. Just the timing of it, everything. But then sometimes I watch it now and you watch how fast you're going because you can still the nervous. Because the first time when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, this is somebody get Just for Laughs on the phone. God damn it.
Yeah. Where's my special?
Where's my special? Somebody get Netflix on the phone. But then now you watch it, just kind of like there's a nervousness, they're talking too fast, all these type of things. Like really. And that's one thing that I really had to learn is the ability to be able to pace yourself. But when you're doing open mics, I find that that's a hard skill to learn when you're trying to like fit everything within a 4 to 5 minute set.
Well, you have to work in 5 minute chunks. Mm-hmm. So. I don't know what I don't know what to say. Yeah, you just have to work. I don't know. Like that's if you're doing a bunch of 15-minute sets, then you can work in 15-minute chunks, and you can like I can't imagine doing like a whole I've been trying to do like longer bits.
Where like it's just like most places, at least like in the city, is like what 5-7 minutes because there's about 100 motherfuckers who are all.
No, it's true. Yeah. And I don't really get, spots all over the place or they're not like this definitely sounds like some sort of like excuse, which it for sure is. Mm-hmm. But I do work early, and I just got a dog, and I can't always just let my girlfriend take care of the dog.
Oh yeah.
Like if she wants to go out and do
I just got a dog too, actually.
How old?
He's 6 months now. I got him. Yeah, I got him from my girlfriend over Christmas.
I did too.
Oh shit, bro!
She was 9 weeks old when we got her.
I was too.
She was 9 pounds. Now she's like 35 pounds. She's
a
shepherd lab.
Oh man, see, to me, like the only thing that sucks is like we live on the 30th floor of the building, so
38th,
30th, 30.
There's 30 floors.
Yeah, there is 37 floors.
How scared shitless was your puppy the first time she went on the balcony?
Oh no, like he doesn't go on the balcony on too, but like my balcony is fairly high. He doesn't look over really, like he can't see because it's there is like the glass part starts beneath where. But it's weird, man. I was one of those people who always like prided myself. I'm like, yo, listen, if the opportunity called, I can move in 32 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like there is nothing. But then after you get a dog, you're like, oh, holy shit. Like I'm actually responsible for this thing for a long extended period of time.
I had one morning when I was so insanely hungover and my girlfriend's going to work and she let the dog out to pee, fed her, and I, usually by 8, 9 I would, get up, but I'm like, babe, can you please just put her back in the crate, fall asleep?
Do you guys ever argue about that? Like,
no, she was like, yeah. And then, because it wasn't her problem, like, and then she started she was just crying and whining, and she's like,
don't you hate that in the morning, bro? I despise that.
Well, even if I put her in the other room, she'll just do it louder, and I don't want the neighbors to hear her.
And think like, oh my God, like this guy's abusing his dog.
Oh, I've definitely hit her. I'm not gonna lie.
No. Physical disciplining as a dog owner. Even the people who tell you that they don't whoop it. Like to me, like for example, we had a hard time.
There's a difference between like scaring your dog and like getting its attention. Like I would never like. The only time I've really done that is when I broke glass and I just hit her out of the fucking I just shoved her across the room, and I'm like, get the dog, put her away.
Yeah.
Or like if she's gotten me a few times, like pretty
the
bad.
puppy biting. How did you deal with that?
Well, she's still doing it because her teeth are starting to fall out now.
Oh yeah. See, ours most of the teeth. Yeah, most of the teeth out. The actual the adult teeth started coming in, but like it was a nightmare, bro.
Did they stop biting once the adult teeth? I guess that hurts too.
No, but like they learn bite inhibition because the way we actually took her it was so bad. Yeah, we did too, right? And they told us, they're like, hey, look, you have to understand. Bite. Yeah, it's going because that's how. Because the way that a dog usually learns is if it's amongst its siblings. And they bite each other. They bite each other. That's how he learns inhibition. Yeah. So our thing was always like, you pull your hand or something like that. Yeah, don't do that.
I ripped the shit. I had a giant cut on my thumb from me doing that. Like she wasn't biting, but she was like moving around, and just her tooth. But I'm the one who pulled away, and I basically just cut myself on her tooth. And they're also they're dumb and stupid, and she's going through a weird phase now where she used to be fine meeting people. Like she went from being very like nervous and timid, and she also grew up around like two tiny kids, and I don't know how much of that she remembers because kids are.
But she was
crazy.
9 weeks when you guys got her. So.
Yeah, this woman had her, and their dogs had 10 puppies.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
And she had 2 little kids. I'm not blaming.
What kind of dog is it, by the way?
It's a black lab and German Shepherd.
Oh, nice.
I'm good for now.
Yeah.
And but yeah, but now, and I've heard this from they go through the weird phase, and she just barks relentlessly at people. I'm like, fuck, people think we have a psycho dog.
Have you thought about getting a bark collar? Because I'm investing in one.
I wouldn't get that until because I was told like they're gonna go through a phase where they're not gonna listen to you. They're gonna be fucking weird. They're gonna be afraid of things or people, especially men. They tend to get afraid of men. Right. Like my brother came over, and she was just, and then within 5 minutes she's like on his lap, like licking him and like trying to bite his hand and play with him and stuff. But then he would stand up and she would start barking again. Right. But with her tail, like she's just being weird. She just discovered mirrors. Oh. She looked at me through the mirror and just went, and I'm like, please stop. It's the morning. She's barking at the wall that neighbors my wall in between, and I'm like, please don't. And she's and I'm like, it's fucking me.
You know what it is though. There is like, for example, my dog when he starts doing that, we have this like this little. It's like this little grocery carts. You know, the ones that the old ladies be carrying in the middle of like the street, like when they go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And he is terrified of it.
Of course.
So sometimes, like when he starts like barking loudly, and he just like won't settle down, you just like move in front of him and just like, whoop, that's it.
I heard from our lady, she said anytime they're afraid of something, like she barks at like the Swiffer. So anytime I pull the Swiffer out, I just give her a treat, and now she's fine with it. Like she's not great with like before I pull out, and she would be terrified. Now she just kind of like gives a little rough, and then goes back to like drinking her water or whatever the fuck she's doing. Yeah. But it is true. Back to the stand-up thing.
Right.
I do like the idea. This is my. Like, okay, when I first, for anyone listening, I have one arm. We should have pointed that out.
Wow, that's like, oh yeah, by the way, just as a side note, going from puppies.
Well, my dad was very good at, the whole he'll figure it out sort of shit. That was all my dad. My mom is the complete opposite.
Was you actually trying to like do everything for you?
No, not do everything, but just very supportive. But like, are you sure you can? Like when I first moved out,
like there was doubt. Doubt.
Not even doubt, but just like more of a panic.
Like, are you an only child?
No, I got a brother and I got a stepbrother and a stepsister. So but I moved out just after university. I went to university, and it was a total fucking waste of time. I took
Welcome to the club.
Communications.
Ew, why? You just want that OSAP money.
No, I don't owe a dime in OSAP. I fucking paid for half my tuition every year working all summer.
Oh,
literally every week I would take out half of my paycheck and go here, give it to my mom. She put it in an envelope.
Wow!
And then by the end,
I'm proud of you, man. You discovered drugs late.
No, I used the other half for drugs, gas and drugs,
and tuition.
Yeah,
but at least there was a side of you that was like, I'm going to do this amount of cocaine in front of me, but I have saved for tuition.
But I have put shit away. and but so anyway, I move out, and then of course she's like, do you need help with rent? And I'm like, if I do, I'll let you know.
You'll be the first person I
first
call.
person to know.
Right.
And then same thing when my girlfriend and I we got a new, because I was living in a 300 square foot apartment is bachelor. When I met my girlfriend, I didn't even have blinds. I had cardboard, and it's not like I just moved there. Like I moved there in October. My now girlfriend, the first time she spent the night was like in May. And I had it set up so that if I needed a bit of light or to open the window, I could slide one of the pieces over. Like it was a very.
Do people think that you were squatting in there or something with the cardboard? They're like, that guy is definitely.
I had mail coming and shit. They knew I lived there.
I know, so obviously.
But it definitely looked sketchy. And another part was that it was on the basement, so it was like a half basement one. So I actually had quite a big window. Usually basements have that tiny, but it was a half. So and it was a very old building, and it looked out right to the front entrance. So if I wanted a bit of light, or it was just really annoying because I could look up at people coming in.
Right.
And I don't have a bedroom. My bedroom is the living room, which is the front door.
Shit,
like son. You open your front door and there's your living room and bed.
Yet you have a communications degree hanging on the wall.
So I did. I don't know where I don't know where it is now. It's somewhere in a box. And then so my girlfriend and I, we lived there for, by the time she really moved it, we lived there for almost a year.
Wow.
And she still, she worked and helped pay for rent. But we lived in this tiny, and I'm like, okay, if we can do this, I think we're good. And so we got a bigger place with I was like, yeah, it has a bedroom and a balcony. Nice. And then
no more showering at the gas station for this guy.
Yeah, and I was like, I've always wanted a dog.
Yeah.
And I want to get married and have kids with her one day.
Yeah.
Not to say a dog's similar, but if like.
It's quite.
It's a nice
in my book, it's
a nice. It teaches you. Oh, I have to think about something else.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug.
That's and especially only really when they're once it's a dog, they're a lot more self-sufficient.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I can't wait to be able to trust my dog.
Yeah.
I have no trust in her right now.
Bro, do you know how much money this
and with
dog?
kids, that takes till they're like 25.
Oh my god!
To be able to trust your kid.
Yeah. No. Seriously, we had an issue a little while back. I don't know why. See, two guys with dogs. Now this whole podcast is right about about two guys and two dogs. Episode number 218.
So as a black guy, do you just raise your dog to attack people? Exactly. Is that how that works?
No, if that was the case, I'm gonna pit bull. But no,
I thought your dog was a pit bull.
No, I have an American Cocker Spaniel. It's like the most adorable dog in the world.
It looks like a wiener dog, sort of.
No, they have like the long ears.
Oh, those things. Yeah.
They have the long ears.
Is it like a mini? It looks like a mini bloodhound.
Sort of you know what? But they grow to be like at least half of the size of a lab. Like they grow to be decent sized dogs. They're hunting dogs. Right?
Okay, they retrieve the birds.
Yeah. But like for example, you have no idea how many socks have went missing.
Oh, I made the fatal mistake of tying up a sock to give to my dog as a treat or as a toy.
No. Big mistake, because mine ate a sock and it cost I caught the sock as he was right about to swallow the whole thing, and I had to pull it out.
Oh my god!
But then a week after, I don't know what he ate, but he starts vomiting bile out of nowhere, and obviously my girl is freaking out, oh my god! So we take him to the vet, and the vet is like, it doesn't sound. Yeah. Oh man, dude, my friend told me, I have a friend of mine who told me that her dog went through almost her $6,000 policy in less than 6 months. I'm like, what the fuck is this dog doing? It's I don't know what the hell it is.
That's like a surgery. That would $6,000 is enough for.
I should have looked into this. You know what it is? I felt like
you can get different policies. You can get I looked up some of it, and the basic was $30 a month, and the most, which basically covers any emergencies and scheduled vet visits for normal oil change, maintenance shit.
Yeah.
And it was $55 a month, and I'm like, man, if you can afford that, it's worth it. My dad's dog broke. She was jumping in snow. Broke her fucking I guess it was her tendon and her bone. She fucking and it was $8,000.
$8,000.
It's because she's too fat. She's lost weight since he doesn't. But she also goes out and eats fucking anything. But she was a big.
Still, like, how old is this dog? Like, to me, like, my problem is
10,
the eating everything.
10.
He's still
fat. She's fat.
No, but like eating everything, as in like, is this dog still eating fucking
if
plastic,
you leave any
toilet paper?
No, but if you leave anything on the counter, if there's anything outside, she doesn't eat plastic shit anymore. But she ate like half a shoe.
My God.
She ate a corner out of my book. I had a book that I wasn't done reading it.
Yeah.
And she ate from like the spine, like a good, like half an inch radius, just chewing on this book, and eventually chew through it, and like was basically eating a book. Ate a pair of my dad's sunglasses.
That's fucked up.
Like the stem.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my favorite was my brother, or he was looking after. He got an extra large pizza because he wanted some for like the next day and shit. Went to the bathroom.
I love how you had to disclose that. You're like, the guy's not a fat ass.
He's way smaller than I am.
He's not a fat ass. He's just
much smaller than me.
He's fiscally responsible. That is really what his thing is.
He is now.
It sounds like you're trying to air some grievances here.
No, he was not before.
Right.
And and then he went to take a piss, came back. Not only was the entire pizza gone, but like part of the box.
Wow.
So she ate, because there's like pizza grease on, like she ate the pizza, and think of how quick it takes you
to eat a whole
to piss, wash your hands, come back into the kitchen.
Right.
Whole pizza gone. Yeah. She ate the most she ate. My dad had a 20-pound bag of dog food that was about half gone. He didn't close the closet right. He came home from work. She was lying on her stomach. The bag was ripped open, and there was no more kibble. So she ate about 10 pounds. He had to make her throw up, and she just threw up all of this food. Because the labs are just retarded. So my dog doesn't.
So I hear.
She hasn't, but she's been like that forever. Like right when we got her, she was eating shit. Yeah. My dog just chews. She doesn't eat. Like
really?
She doesn't. No, she doesn't eat. She's actually a little picky, which I'd prefer that.
You said she's a lab and
a German Shepherd, and also a collie. So the collie makes her kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah. Honestly though, but like when I got the Cocker Spaniel, I did some research on the dog.
I didn't. She's just a total mutt. Though she's like an accident dog. I'm like,
how much you pay? How much you pay for her?
$300.
Oh shit! I got bamboozled. I got played.
I really wanted.
Motherfucker cost me $1,500.
Fuck that. With all of the things I've spent on my dog, including vet visits, it hasn't even come close to $1,500.
Oh, bro, listen. Let me. You know how it happened. See, my girl was like begging me for a long time. Please, let's get a dog. And my answers range between fuck no, and if I hear that again, we're gonna have a problem. And then one day I was just kind of like, Christmas is coming up, like whatever. Like I bought the bags, I bought the whatever. I'm like, what should I get her?
Did you surprise her with it? Or
yeah.
How'd you pull it off? Because I was like, there's no way I'd be able to set everything up, like, because you can't just.
No. You
gotta.
Like I was like, see, go to show you.
Did you have everything planned out and then you brought it over?
No, I swear to God, like I had, like it goes to show you how little I knew about owning dogs. So
you just got the dog and was like, all right, what do we need now?
It is, yeah, exactly. Seriously, that's exactly how it happened. So that day she was like, okay, because we're trying to plan a trip for Christmas and all these type of things.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think, I'm like, okay, fuck, Christmas is coming up. What the fuck am I gonna get her? See, what I hate holidays because I got like it requires me to like think about things like that to showcase that I care. But I'm like, wait a minute, like,
well, not even that you care, that you like not only care but like remembered what everyone likes.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, okay, fuck it. You know what? And I remember I will never forget that moment. I was like, okay, let me look into this dog thing.
Yeah.
I remember being on the shitter.
Yeah.
You should never make decisions while taking a shit. That's too much of a level of comfortability for you to be able to make such critical decisions. Decisions like those should be made in the gym while you like, I don't know. Like,
right after you come.
Yes. That's a good time where like,
that's after you come.
That's as a man, time. That's when you're the most reasonable.
You're like a Buddhist monk who just spent 50 years on a mountain. You know what I mean? You have so much wisdom and then it just gets replaced with shit
exactly.
so quickly.
Exactly.
So and you're like, sandwich, all right, I'm done with the nice, insightful thoughts.
But straight up though, like I'm sitting on the shitter and I look up like I got this like I
looked up dogs.
No, I saw on Kijiji. I'm like puppies.
Yeah.
And I see a picture of him and I fell in love with him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no. Fuck her. I want him for me. Like, there was just this picture of him. I'm just kind of like, oh my God, this is the prettiest fucking thing I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
That day, I called the lady, and I was like, listen, the lady lived in Aurora. I'm like, yo, I'm coming tonight.
Yeah.
So I get the dog, and she puts him in this like this pink like plastic bin that looks like it's a laundry bin.
You paid $1,500 for a dog that came in a laundry basket.
I swear to God. It was like, I didn't have a crate. I didn't have fuck all. Like,
I brought my friend so she could sit on his lap.
Oh man, see, I had nobody. Like, I was coming from work. I drove to Aurora. The lady gives me like this like plastic pink see-through bin.
You bought a dog the same way someone buys a pizza.
Exactly.
Just like, I feel like I'm gonna get pizza tomorrow, and then you're like, I'm gonna get it on my way back from work.
I'm gonna make an 11-year commitment today.
Yeah,
a 15-year commitment. Like, seriously. So I went, got the dog, pulled up downstairs. Call my girl and I'm like, yo, listen, I got some stuff from the store. I need you to come help me with it. Yeah. And she comes downstairs. Boom, there is a puppy.
Did you at least have a leash?
No, I didn't.
Didn't even have a fucking leash.
The next morning, but like she like he was so little. Like I think he was like 8-9 weeks old.
I know.
You know what I mean? He was so little.
Yeah.
So that night, like, we didn't sleep because like, now there's a dog in the house and like.
Of course.
But
and
then
you
the next day,
you didn't even have a crate. So
no. But the next day we went out, got all the essentials, got all of this, and like all these type of things. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine if she was like, "I was just kidding. I just like the idea. Like, what we have to? Do you have a leash?"
You know what's so funny though? The lady told me, she's like, "Listen, a lot of people tend to buy dogs around this time of the year, but the novelty kind of wears off around February." So when she said that, I was like, "So what is the return policy here? What are we talking about? Do I drop them off?"
She went, "Nope, have a good day. Just letting you know, you might not want this."
It was a casual Heil Hitler, and she was sending me on my way. Like,
you can't abort a dog.
You can. Fuck.
See, when I got mine, I was just. I didn't get my. I'm not gonna say I got my dog out of spite, but
when somebody says that,
I was telling my mom. This is a fucking hilarious story. So my parents are divorced, and so I told my mom, okay, my girlfriend, she's gonna be a great mom one day. I can just tell.
Right.
I'm 26, she's 22. Definitely can't have kids. but if she sees a baby, she gets old, and I'm like, okay, I need to give her something to mother. She has this incredible motherly instinct that is very commendable.
Right.
And I can't let that go to waste. And then, so I was, I had entertained the thought of getting a dog, and I was pretty drunk at home, and I'm looking up dogs, and I'm trying to not show my phone, and I'm like, this is gonna.
What am I looking at?
So I text
porn?
my mom. I'm texting my mom. I'm like, I think I might get a dog for Natalia, and she was like, get a fish. Like she didn't. She said first a cat. I'm like, Mom, I'm allergic. Like I'm kind of allergic to dogs, but I find I'm getting less allergic to my dog
for pussy. That is the allergies.
No, you get way less. Oh, I thought you meant I'm getting the dog for pussy.
No.
And I'm like, no, I fuck way less now that you have a puppy.
No, really?
Well, because they fucking, like, you gotta time it. And I can't imagine what it's like when you have kids and shit. But anyway, so she's trying to convince me not to. And I'm like, I didn't have my mind set on it. And then by the end of the night, I'm like, hey, babe, do you want to get a dog? And she was like,
how long did you ponder the decision? Was it like a couple of weeks?
My whole life. I've always wanted it. I just didn't know when.
No, but like when you were like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to do
like
this.
2 days. 2 days.
Wow.
And then the third day, I was like actually looking them up. Because I was thinking like, okay, my building doesn't have a limit on dogs. I already asked. Like, because my building manager has a pit bull and a Rottweiler.
Right.
Big dogs. So there's definitely not first thing she said is like, well, make sure it's, I even sent her the picture of the puppy. She's like, well, how big would she be? And I'm like, I don't know, like 50 pounds, 60 pounds tops. And she's like, well, most buildings have a limit on. I'm like, I already asked. I'm like, my building manager has a fucking pit bull that is huge. and a Rottweiler that is also big.
How is your building manager asking you all these questions?
No, my mom is. My
your mom
is.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
she's trying to talk me out of it, right? And I get that. So again, she's nervous. Same when I moved out. Like,
Same
are you sure?
thing.
Can you be responsible? I'm like, I'm the kind of person where I don't. I same with like people having kids, like with the whole like a abortion-y thing, where it's like, well, they can't. I'm like, nobody is ever prepared to have kids. At least you can kind of prepare for a fucking puppy. But like kids, no matter how much work you do, I've never heard one person who, when the baby was delivered, went, and I knew I'd be fine. Everyone's always like, holy shit. Like, I can't believe this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And then, so I asked her, I'm like, do you want to get the dog? And then so the lady's out in Cambridge. My dad lives in Hamilton.
Oh, so you told your girl. It wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, because I knew I wouldn't. I'm
this
like,
is not something that you want to surprise.
And it's not a surprise. And also, I wanted to be prepared for when the dog came home. I wanted to learn some, at least get both of us learning a bit of stuff.
Right.
Plan out whatever, like find a vet, all that shit.
Right.
I basically did it the way you're supposed to, unlike you. and then so I'm talking to my dad, and my dad loves dogs. And then I texted him the same thing. I showed a picture, and he went, "She looks adorable."
Right.
And I was like, "That's what you're supposed to say." And then so I'm doing a gig, and I'm Showtime in St. Catharines.
Mm-hmm.
So I met my dad to the show, and I stayed the night. I was doing hosting 2 nights there, so I'm like, "Can I stay over the Friday night?" He's like, "Yeah." So I stayed the whole weekend. And then so Saturday morning, he's kind of close to Cambridge, a lot closer than Toronto. I'm like, can we go check out the puppy?
Right.
He's like, yeah, let's go. And then he got there. He was just like, he bring him back to like when he got a puppy, and he's like, oh, the puppy breath. I'm like, the fuck is puppy breath? He's like, they don't. Their breath has like no smell, and like it smells like it's the only time a dog's mouth smells good.
Yeah.
And then so he's all excited, and I'm taking. So the way I picked her was this lady. She got a dog, and then they got another dog, and they didn't realize that the new dog wasn't fixed. So it banged. They figured out very quickly, like the first day, because that was the shepherd, and they have long hair. You couldn't see. I couldn't even see his balls.
Right.
They were like, yeah, we need to get him fixed soon. And so they knocked up this black lab, and I forget what else she was, but mainly black lab. And so they had 9 or 10 puppies. So she told me which ones. They all had like, she was great about it. She had like color coordinated collars.
Wow.
So like you could see, she told me like, okay, there's the orange, and they're all girls, the ones that are left. And then all of them are kind of just doing their thing. And then this one was I just picked her up, put her on my lap, and she just kind of laid there for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, this is my dog now.
This is you now.
This is my dog. And my dad was like, yeah, that's her. So I took a few pictures. Yeah. I sent it to my mom. I'm like, what do you think? And then she replies with, are those your father's shoes? She could see her shoes. Oh. Because he's got these really, those like weird dad shoes that are like squared off.
Those square right.
Pointy. And they're 30 years old, so when they were married, he still had those shoes. She knows those shoes. And
how about they
and then she texts my dad like, they should not be getting a dog. And my dad just goes, maybe he just wants something that'll make him happy that won't judge him all the time.
Happy divorce.
And I was, yeah.
That's wild, man. Like, I don't know. Like to me, when I chose, his name is Platinum. My dog's name is Platinum. So because he's platinum blonde. So is my girlfriend. So it is like it kind of fit. Yeah. And see, to me, like we had dogs growing up. Yeah. But see, I grew up in a small country named Rwanda back in Africa. So let me tell you something about African dogs. First of all, where I come from, dogs are not pets.
They're coyotes. Okay? They're fucking vicious animals.
Dogs are employees.
Grab another,
of course, man. See,
just a little bit.
Dogs are employees. Yeah. Meaning what?
They work for you.
They work as in like, at night when when everybody goes to bed, you unleash them on the property in order for them to bite off any fucking intruder that might.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
So, okay, I'm trying to figure out when, like, what years, like, from when to when were you?
So I moved to Canada in April of 2006. 2006.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even speak a word of English then.
You really don't even sound like you. You know how like this might sound offensive. I don't care. You know how like people who like live in Scarborough that were born here, but it's like they were just getting over speaking Scarborough slang. Like it sounds like last year you were saying man's tings and stuff. Right?
Yeah, listen, I make a living out of begging old rich Jewish guys for money. Believe me, I had to polish my English very fast. You know what I mean? Like it was, but like yeah, man. Like so. Like I'll never forget the first time I've ever seen a dog inside the house. I will never forget.
Yeah.
Like
that'd be like seeing. That's like when I see a parrot in someone's house, and I go, "What the fuck
are you a pirate?"
Yeah.
Secondly, you must be a sex offender. You must be if this is the partner that you've chosen through life to be able to show you. Well, the parrot
just goes like, "In the bed, children."
No, but like seriously, like I'll never forget this. Like I remember, like we moved to Canada, and we go to visit one of my dad's friends.
Yeah.
And I walk into the house and I see a dog, and I'm like, oh my god, like there is a dog in the house. Somebody, like I'm waiting for somebody to be like, holy shit, how did this travesty unfold?
Yeah.
Somebody tackle the dog and take it outside.
Your dog is taking over your house, sir.
You know what I mean?
Do you know that?
Like what is happening? Like the idea, like I remember my sisters asking my dad if they could get a dog, and the idea of a dog jumping on my dad's bed is so inconceivable.
That'd be like having like an almost wild animal jumping on your like.
It's not even a question of wild animal. It's like culture wise, dogs are regarded like.
But that's the cool thing about dogs is that's how they became pet. Like that's the whole man's best friend. This is what I've just heard is that. Since dogs have such a good sense of smell and hearing, when if you're around, especially like Siberian, that's like where wolves and huskies originated from. The relationship with dogs got so close. Basically, they would sit around if they're having like a fire or whatever. The dogs would be on what because they can hear and smell, and if you're having a fire, you are lit up. Yeah. Like have you ever been around a campfire in the forest?
Right.
It's fucking terrifying because the light's illuminating what's in front of you, and then it's just black.
Right.
Your eyes haven't adjusted to the dark. Like if there's no fire, your eyes will adjust, and you can use the moon, and you might be able to see some. You can't see 30 feet around the fire.
Right.
So you have that dog there, and they would train them they would eat. They would feed them.
Right.
To protect them, and then eventually they would, if you go help me kill this or retrieve this or whatever,
then you get fed. Yeah.
That whole human-dog relationship has been
You know what's so crazy though?
I give you food, you do this for me.
I saw this video of these baboons out in the Serengeti that train these wild dogs.
See, now you sound African after you said baboons. You said it
like, how did I say it?
Like baboons.
I saw these baboons in the Serengeti. You know what I mean? Sometimes the accent will come on.
It's like when someone from Quebec says poutine, and they're talking about, all of a sudden they go Putin, and you go.
But, and they'll be speaking perfect English. They're like, yes, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm hungry. Are you in the mood for the ptsin? That's kind of like, yo, how many apostrophes is there in that motherfucker? Like, everything is enunciated. Anyways, bro, enough about dogs, goddammit. This whole podcast now my whole entire audience is gonna be like, since when? Since when did this turn into? So a couple things going on in the news that I want your.
Do you have like a segment intro song? It's like, I don't know, whatever.
That worked actually. It had a jingle. It had a jingle kind of like sense to it. So yo, a lot of shit going on in the news this week, man. Fucking Jussie Smollet got off this week. How crazy is that? I don't know now if we can like claim white privilege anymore like that as a real thing.
It's rich black Jewish privilege. Apparently.
No. Don't forget gay privilege.
Rich black gay Jew privilege.
Oh my god, that guy has everything. Like he does. Like he is the ultimate human being.
And my favorite part about the whole thing was, even under like, is he exonerated? No. His sentencing. This is coming from his sentencing was his bail, which just $10,000,
right?
Which is a very low bail for a federal crime. Because once apparently you go through the mail. Apparently, if I just mailed you like a powder, that's already a federal crime. Because I use the mail, and it could potentially, like, you know what I mean?
Potentially cross states, I guess. Yeah.
No, it's because one, you're using the federal. It has to do with the fact that you're using federal mail, and the fact that it's just like an unmarked powder. So technically, when he mailed himself something allegedly, if someone did that to him, that's a federal crime.
Wait, no. But like, what did Jussie? We're talking about Jussie Smollet.
Yeah. It started with him mailing himself. Do you not know the whole story? This is fucking hilarious. So you know in the movies when someone has cut out pieces of a magazine that says like, "We will kill you."
Oh yeah, right.
So the two Nigerian guys, they found cut up magazines, and it's like, because think about it, if you're a hitman, you keep all the evidence against that person in case you get caught, and you go, "Yep. This is everything I did for this guy," and then like they're going to prison, and both of you are, and you'll get but that's just what you do. So they had all of the shit. So he sent himself like which ended up being crushed up Tylenol.
So what? He was trying to make it look like what? Like anthrax?
Yeah, like some sort of fentanyl maybe or whatever. So it didn't get enough attention. So then he moved on to this.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that's my favorite part and that's one of the parts that made it all of a sudden a federal thing, because he used the mail.
So he mailed himself some sort of conspicuous powder.
Yeah, because
nobody gave a fuck.
Perjury or bearing false witness. Actually, that's the religious version, but which is a sin. Yeah, but he's already gay, so you don't give a shit.
So he doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, it's like, I've already crossed the line.
Was there another level of hell?
I know.
It's like, have you read Dante's Inferno? Oh shit, there is. That's funny. What he did, bearing false witness, is worse than Dante's Inferno than being a homosexual. Like the very bottom.
I never read Dante's Inferno. I know about Dante's
the bottom level of hell goes to people who betray other people.
Really?
That's Gays are you just
shit,
sodomy.
Son, I'm a stockbroker, son. I don't know. So I don't know. So I'm destined to a terrible.
He goes to the pearly gates and he's like, yeah, you won't let me in because I'm gay. And it's like, nah, you faked a hate crime, you piece of shit. And then
no, you made me choke on my drink. Fuck you, guys.
And so he did the whole mail thing.
So nobody gave a fuck about that. I didn't even know. I didn't even hear about that part of the story.
That was kind of, because that wasn't really the main part, but that was one of the technicalities that all of a sudden made it more of a. That's what started the kind of federal investigation part of it, and that's when shit got way out of hand for him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of fucked." Right. So instead of him coming out and just admitting it, that's why I find what's weird about like the left kind of today is they can't even like admit when they're totally wrong.
It's see, to
objectively me, not even an opinion of like, do you think communism's bad? No, like a perfectly like this happened. He technically did. They put the case away, but his sentence, he's not innocent. His sentence was 2 days of community service that he apparently already did.
What?
He did it before the crime. He somehow convinced him, like, oh, I did this nice thing. And $10,000.
It's like, I fed the homeless over Christmas. I think that should be.
He makes $100,000 an episode for a show. My God!
But see, to me, here is the thing. Like when it comes to that whole story. First of all, look, I understand. Hey, listen, you were trying to pull a flex, and the flex went wrong. I get it. But the stupidity with which it was planned is what absolutely boggles my mind. Listen, if you're going...
Make it realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hire two big Nigerian dudes to be like, oh, these are the Trump supporters that assault... Like, what?
And the part that really bugged me was he didn't... Here's what he wanted to happen. He wanted... He wanted it to be impossible to find the people... Whatever... My thing is, what if they happened to have found two guys,
random white guys that were walking,
and not only that, but like because then we wouldn't find out about the other people. One, everyone would have believed it, and two innocent people could have potentially been.
Oh my God!
Not even charged.
Fuck.
Well, they probably wouldn't have been charged with it because they probably would have been. People really underestimate how well police can investigate. Everyone likes to think cops are stupid. Like they've seen everything. They know when you're lying within 7 seconds of talking to you. Like they've seen it all, and they got the most rookie ass cops to interview these guys. they would have known. But just the fact that you would have had to go through that trial.
But see, to me, like, that's another thing that kind of shocked.
And now he doesn't care about finding them. He's like, I just want to move on. It's like, well, what about because he claimed he's innocent. So it's like, well, if you think you're innocent, then where are the two? Where are they?
No, but see, to me, I am shocked about the fact that, first of all, like, apparently there was no, like, where the quote unquote incident happened, there was no cameras that were facing. So I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. So nobody knows who shot Biggie and Tupac, but y'all found these two. When the only evidence that you had at the beginning of this whole case was somebody telling you that two guys in MAGA hats.
They found the one spot with no cameras.
There were no
in Chicago.
cameras, and you still found, not only you investigated this, but you investigated this so well that you're like, oh shit, wait a minute. These were not white guys. These were black. Because you have to understand what the starting point is. Yeah. Right? The starting point is...
he claimed, though, I never said they were white. No, after the fact, he's like, I never said they were white.
But like, even if he didn't have to say it, like, let's, if you hear that somebody says, hey, listen, two guys in MAGA hats assaulted me, beat the shit out of me, told me, hey, fuck you, this is Trump country, and they put a rope around my neck, it's not hard to put two and two together to be like, okay, how do we narrow down our suspect pool, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going out there looking for Mohammed bin al-Somal, you know what I'm saying? And his cousin.
Two Nigerian bodybuilders.
Yeah, exactly. Two Nigerian guys is not like the description of the crime does not fit that. So not only they investigated, so through the investigation, and that shit happened over a couple of days. This shit didn't take months. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This was like a couple of days where they were like, oh, shit, wait a minute. These were not even white guys. There was no cameras. There were two Nigerian dudes. And they
have footage of them buying the shit. Oh the text message. The biggest was a text. Well, okay, you were on the phone? Yeah. Can we see your phone records? No, that's an invasion of privacy. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Can you send us a call list? Okay. What are these blacked out numbers? I don't know. Well, we could just get a warrant to look because now you're getting fucked. Because it went from we're trying to help you to imagine if you were attacked, you'd be like, yes. Here's everything that I did. Right. If you wouldn't be like no.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Even if let's say you had made a drug deal right before and you don't want to show them, they're not investigating your drug deal. You can just flat be like, yeah, I was buying drugs. It has nothing to do with the incident. They'd be like, all right.
What do you think?
There's no reason to investigate that because it has nothing to do with the crime. Unless the drug dealer's the one that beat you up. In this case, you probably just shut your fucking mouth because you were trying to buy drugs and he kicked your ass because he doesn't like your TV show or fucking whatever. I don't fucking know.
But you know what? But see, like, at what point do you think the cops were like, this doesn't sound.
The moment right. He said they said MAGA country, and they were like,
"You think no?" But see, no. But
even the black cops
in the news, though, in the news,
they still think he's
there
innocent.
Was still no. In the news, they would like there were those incidents of people who are fired up by the whole Trump movement going out there doing X, Y, and Z. But at what point, to me, I think what threw them off was the fact that this motherfucker called the cops 35 minutes after this happened. He called his manager first.
35 minutes after getting home.
No. That's not it. He didn't call him from home. Here's what happened. When the cops showed up, he still had the rope
and the sandwich
around his leg.
And the sandwich.
Come on, bro. Like, really? Like, listen. As a black man, I can tell you this. If somebody puts a rope around my neck and I fight them off and they run off, I'm not going to sit there with the rope waiting like a damsel in fucking
And he said,
distress.
I fought back. They ran from me.
No. This motherfucker was like, I'm the gay Tupac. For real, bro? Like, for real? Like, okay, so.
He's a piece of, he's never, okay. No one's going to watch. Here's what I find hilarious. Like, okay, this kind of segues into like the Jim Jeffries thing I sent you. Mm-hmm. But, so, okay, you have Roseanne. Who tweets and it's this was I found really fucked up was that she never said this person looks like an ape.
Right.
She was comparing her to one of the characters on Planet of the Apes. And she never posted a photo of them next to each other. She literally said, this bitch is reminding me of whatever her name was from the show. People then took the tweet and
who did she talk about? I can't remember.
It was okay. No, she was talking about a congresswoman or a senator.
Right. It was,
and she was basing her based on one of her policies.
And she was white, right? Like who?
She was mixed. She's mixed. She's like a quarter black or whatever.
I know for sure she wasn't like.
And they have the same haircut, but she wasn't even saying they looked each other. She didn't even know She didn't even really know what she looked like.
I haven't looked up the lady, but I'm gonna ask you this: with your Netflix special on the line, did she actually look like a character in Planet of the Apes or not? Because sometimes,
100%.
There goes your special, motherfucker.
No, the hair alone.
You know people are gonna pull this up
hair.
like 10
I don't
years
care.
down the
I
road.
don't care. The hair alone. What are they gonna do? Tucker Carlson?
You know what you need to do? Just make sure that before the Netflix special comes out.
I'll get an endorsement.
You just come out of the closet and be like, "Hey,
no,
I'm gay. You can't do nothing to me."
I'll get an endorsement from Roseanne. So what people did though is they screenshotted the tweet, and then next to her tweet, this is how your memory is horrible. Right. So what happened was people saw the tweet throughout the night. She's ambient out, and then they put a picture of the congresswoman and the character next to each other. To say, she's saying she never posted the pictures. She just said this bitch is reminding me of this character because her character is she's like, and she didn't even know she was black because she is actually half Jewish. The lady,
right?
She looks more like kind of Puerto Rican-y. Like she's very very like.
Wait, so where is this like resemblance to the Planet of the Apes? And first of all,
the hair. It's honestly, it's the hair.
Planet of the Apes character. Is it the lady? The lady in Planet of the Apes, like
the short hair with the short hair.
Oh, she was kind of hot. Like it was like I don't know what. I remember watching that.
Well, to be fair, it's just a human with makeup. They didn't get real fucking monkeys like the new Planet of the Apes. If she says she looks like the dude from the new one who is a CGI chimpanzee,
right?
That's a chimpanzee.
You know what? I'm not thinking about. Am I thinking about Planet of the Apes?
The old one from the 70s, where there was people with just makeup that basically they looked. Or honestly, they looked more like people from the Grinch. Jim Carrey's the Grinch than they did.
Oh yeah.
Just with the nose going up like that, and then makeup and like bit of, to make their faces like look a bit bigger and like monkey-ish. Even though the same people were like they look too monkey-ish. We're like. You don't wear 99% chimpanzee. It's like, why can't we point out that she kind of looks like a chimpanzee? But she genuinely doesn't. She has the same haircut. But the fucked up part, though, was that people added the photo. And then the whole narrative was that, or not even narrative, but just what people remember. If you ask any person, they will swear to God think that Roseanne posted a picture of the two of them and said, these are the same people.
That is actually what I thought. I never saw the tweet.
You only saw the.
I saw the interview, but you know what? I watched her interview with who's the black conservative girl?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
And I watched and I couldn't watch the whole thing because it got cringe after a little while because
I like Candace in 5-minute bits.
Yes. I can watch the whole thing because sometimes she's just like, it kind of throws me off a little bit.
I feel like she'd be very hard to have a just normal conversation. Like, the first hour we were talking about dogs.
Right.
I feel like
what the fuck was that all about?
I have no fucking idea.
2 dog owners in a podcast.
Well, because they're the same age,
true.
too. We got them at the same day. I got her on Boxing Day. So this is cool. And I just thought it was... She's not the kind of person, right? If you sit down, she'd be like, all right, to the business. We got to leave the plantation of the... And you're like, okay, slow down. How was your day?
Yeah, I know, right? Take it easy, Ken. But you know what it is? I kind of feel like... See, my issue with this whole cancel culture that we have going on. Here is really what my problem is. There is no more room for intellectually honest conversation anymore.
Scratch the intellectual part, just being honest.
Just conversation.
being honest.
But let me land this point for a second. Because, everybody is so polarized, right? It's like, it's either you are on this side of the extreme or you are on that side of the extreme.
Yeah.
And the left is very good at playing this game.
Yeah.
Because here is the thing.
Well, that's why they're winning.
Yeah, no. Do you know why? Do you know why they're winning, though? See, the right is very armed. they have all the guns.
Yeah, no,
but the left will make you lose your job.
Yeah, or no, they'll make you lose your gun. They'll make you lose your job.
Like, exactly. So
the left are good at taking. The right are very good at trying their best to protect what they have.
No, but see, here is what the problem is, though. See, nothing gets resolved with this kind of approach.
Yeah.
When people completely refuse to acknowledge facts and want to deal in semantics. I'll give you an example, right? Let's take something like the fact that women, there is this concept that somehow women make, which is true if you look through it, that they make 70 cents.
It's 93.
Okay, all right. 93 cents on the dollar, right?
Yeah.
And and so when people go to kind of like approach that point, they're like, you know what, men and women are exactly the same, and therefore, like, look.
Well, you get taught that. Everyone thinks you get taught that men and women are different. Like, that's a social construction. You have to be. It has to be unlearned. But it's the total opposite. You know very early on, boys and girls are different, and then you get taught, oh no, women make this much, even though they're the exact same, and even for the same amount of work. And you go, okay, that's my new thing that I learned. But see,
here's the thing, though. Here is the thing. If we actually dissected beyond all,
oh yeah, you're talking, right? You're preaching the choir. Like I fucking
but I want to get this point on the record, right? So if you actually unpack it and you take your emotions out of it, right?
Yeah.
It's a simple concept to be able to understand. Why do women actually make 70 cents on the dollar?
93.
93 cents. Okay, 93. I guess the numbers have went up as of late. Yes. They're not that equal. But see, here's the thing. Nature has programmed women to be much more agreeable. Why? Because they carry the seed.
They need to do with children.
Like, yeah, exactly. If you're dealing with a child, you need to be a lot more agreeable, which puts you at a bit of a disadvantage when you are engaging, for example, into negotiations.
And even the type of work that you're more interested in.
Right. Like, and also, that's true as well.
Like when people are like, well, we need more women in engineering, I'm like, if you want to be an engineer, if you think that'll make you happy, go for it. But no one's ever like, we need more female crab fishermen. We need, and there are women on construction sites all the time, and those women hate feminists. Yeah. They're like, those bitches couldn't do a day of this shit. But
see, here's the thing though. Unless we are able to look, like, for example, right? That is why, like, I have two of my really good friends who are evolutionary biologists, right?
That's my favorite field of study.
Really?
I did some sort of I did one course on intro to evolutionary psychology because I did some psych classes.
Right.
I did developmental criminal psychology, which was all about like serial killers. It was fucking cool as shit. It wasn't criminal psychology. But it focused on disorders and stuff. Right. I forget the fucking name of it. And then evolutionary psychology, I just did an intro class.
Right.
Didn't learn nearly enough as I wanted to, but that is one of my favorite.
No, but see, I love listening to these guys talk because the way that they approach, world problems is completely, like, it's completely cut out of all, like, emotions. There is no bullshit. There is no, like, you know what I mean? And that is how these kinds of conversations are meant to be had. Because eventually when we have kids, right? I don't want my daughter to make 93 cents of the dollar or 97 or whatever that time it's going to be at that time. But in order for these problems to be solved, a genuinely intellectually honest conversation must be had. But see, the moment that subjects comes into the fucking zeitgeist, people immediately are like, how dare you say?
Well, not even the discussion. It's if you don't come to the conclusion of women are oppressed. Like if you say we need to fix women need to make more money, which is hilarious. That's just a funny. I love that men have convinced women to kill their babies and make more money. That's right? Fucking hilarious to me. That they're like, not only should you not be a mom, but you should work just as hard as me, and we should split the expenses. And they're like, yeah,
that is.
And they're like, sign me up for the military too. They're like, fucking have at it. Like, I find that really funny. But unless your conclusion is like, men have kept you down, because they'll agree women make less money.
Right.
That's a fact. Mm-hmm. That's a fact that I can't be like women make more. No, I'm good. But then if you share a common goal, you'd think that would lead you somewhere. So if the common goal is women, not only that women, I don't think women, the phrase women should make as much as men, to me is such a stupid thing to say, because then that's one step away from, well, I should make the same as you.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay. They're looking at it as women should make the same as men. That is one step away from I should make the same as you. Like, I can tell just by your watch, you make more money than me. There's no way I could justify to myself for no reason other than I want what you have to then go, well, we should make the same amount of money.
Right.
It makes no sense. So and the only way you can justify that we should make the same is that someone else is preventing certain people from making that money.
Right.
So the only way to justify making the same is because someone else is
Isn't that the idea behind Marxism, though?
That is Marxism.
Right.
Fucking Karl Marx was this rich cunt who never had to fuck. He's like Bernie
I know,
Sanders.
right?
Never had to
Fuck
work a
you.
fuck.
Oh,
never worked a day in his
that's
life.
what cheeses me.
And he felt guilty that he was richer than people. And you can see that with like white people feeling guilty that they, that they're potentially more well off, but they've never really thought about, well, not only why am I rich, but why are people poor? Is it because that someone's holding them back? That could be a thing, and make it as fair as you can, but you can only feed someone so many times before you go, fuck, pick up the spoon.
Right. I know, right?
Like, you don't keep feeding your baby forever. Like those crazy women that breastfeed till they're like 8 years old.
You know what, dude? Let me tell you something.
Weird.
God help save on those fucking dentists, on that dentist cost. My mother got pregnant when I was 4 months old. Listen, let me tell you something. My dental bills are fairly higher than my sister's because they were breastfed a lot longer.
Really?
Don't know. Oh my God.
But till they're 8 years old?
Not 8 years old. I do have one cousin, though, that was breastfed uncomfortably long. Like, this motherfucker would be like sucking in a titty and then fingering a bitch at school. Like, that's kind of like, hold on, you can finger and suck on a titty at the same time.
You should know division and suck a titty.
You cannot know how to be able to spell your name properly and suck a titty.
But
like his teeth though are fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, the man has a gorgeous set of teeth.
Yeah.
And like, hey, listen,
for anyone listening, his teeth suck.
I don't know.
But going back to that's where when you say that side or this side, and to me it boils down to this, it's this feeling of envy and I deserve. Like, hey, this is a perfect example. I get in Facebook arguments that I regret. Not because I regret what I typed, but just I'm like, this is a fucking waste of time. So this guy I know posted a thing, and it was a funny picture of like things you don't see in sex, and it was like farting, and it shows like little graphics of like like someone whatever, just things you don't see in sex.
Things you don't see in sex.
Sorry, in porn. My bad.
There is. I'm sure there is.
Exactly, there is fart porn. But in terms of your mainstream CNN porn, there's no farting.
CNN porn.
So
I call it a fake news porn.
Fake news porn. That's like that guy who's got the he comes like cinnamon buns, whatever the fuck. He's got a fake dick that shoots fake. Anyway. So then
what are you watching, bro? I got so many questions.
I don't know. It was like a big conspiracy, this guy to fake dick. Anyway, so then this woman's like, you don't see disability either. Remember, folks, I have one arm, so just keep that in mind when you hear what I say. So I just said, this is how all of it started. I replied, just Google nub porn. 3 words. Google nub porn. Yeah, like stump shit.
Like NUP or?
NUB. Like nub, stump, fucking amputee, whatever you want to say.
Right.
My Google nub porn. And then this fucking other bitch gave me a rant about how that's fetishizing someone and we need representation and da. And I'm like, I just said, well, I have one arm and I don't care. I don't care what you're calling me. I got called by 3 different people that my white privilege was showing.
Oh my God.
Okay, this was the best part. So this guy responds, and he is a gay black drag queen with cerebral palsy. You can't make this up. So, and his whole thing was basically like, well, I don't get to see me in porn. And I went, how selfish are you? That you not only
you have a video camera on your phone. Shoot your own shit.
That's what this other girl said. She's like, how about you make porn for your community? Which is a degrading. Like I'm not. If you watch porn, fucking good for you, but you haven't accomplished shit. Like stop. We need. I don't think they should get rid of porn, but I don't think it should be glorified.
But see, do you know what it is though? It is this fucking millennial entitlement.
Yeah, someone make me something to jerk off to because I've run out of porn.
But you know how we got here? It started with participation trophies.
Yeah, he got a participation jerk off trophy.
This motherfucker out here lost every single pee-wee fucking soccer game that he ever played in.
To be fair, he's got fucking palsy. Here's the thing though.
Whatever.
He then said though, but he said to me, which was, you know, like the whole like Olympics of like the oppression Olympics sort of phrase.
No.
He literally said to me, "Well, you only have one arm. That's not as bad as not being able to walk. It's like apples to oranges."
Oh my God!
And I'm like, I'm calling out your horse shit because I know it's horse shit. Disabled people, the honest ones, when they see someone who is pulling that card, we know how bullshit it is because. I saw a guy with palsy who's a video of this guy. He's only like 9. He's not even 100 pounds because your muscles don't fucking work. He deadlifted 205 fucking pounds.
He what, sorry?
He deadlifted twice his body weight with fucking palsy.
Holy fuck, yeah.
I'm 240 pounds. I can't deadlift 480 pounds.
No, exactly.
You fucking kidding me? So this kid's doing that. You're complaining that there's not the right amount of porn for you. Fuck you. And then I'm like, what? You should just star in your own porno where, like, you know, some lady picks you up at McDonald's after your shift and then...
Honestly, this whole entire segment is just making me picture this guy with cerebral palsy trying to jerk off.
But then
and it's just...
With the weird hand. With the weird hand.
Oh my God.
The thing he said that disturbed me the most was like, well, some people use porn to like discover about sex and love, and I'm like, dude,
I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. So
I barely learned about sex from porn. I learned what not to do from porn.
Yeah.
Porn is a giant. Don't do this shit ever. And they were making this whole thing.
I don't know what kind of dark porn that you watch.
No, but just like fingering like you're shooting a machine gun, like stuff that doesn't feel good. Like if you ever see a girl like do something that's you just saw this, and then you're making fake noises, and none of this is real.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why, like, for example, personally speaking, my choice in porn is. The amateur shit. Like, I don't like watching that, like, fucking
no high production,
budget,
no editing,
high
clips.
production, where you like, you know, you can see that this bitch pays her taxes. Like, you can see like this is exactly how she makes a living.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to see all that because there is really no enjoyment behind it. I can see that bitch. You woke up, you're like, fuck, I gotta go to work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see your bus commute on your face.
But if that porn didn't exist, would you then demand it? Like, another thing is, if you're on an island and the only porn you have is like a picture of boobs, you're gonna defend that picture. Like, that's your porn.
That is your porn.
And I'm like, why are you?
Well said. like you just see the big. Have you ever seen that? What is the name of that movie? Castaway.
Yeah. That's gonna be your Wilson. He probably fucked Wilson. He definitely fucked Wilson. Why do you think he was deflated? He poked a fucking hole in the back, and his face just started melting.
That is why he went
a
to
microwave plate.
That is why he went to find that woman at the end of the movie and be like, "Listen, I fucked your volleyball. That's all you never."
She's like, "Let's be together." And he's like, once you fuck a Wilson."
You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, once you come into a volleyball, human pussy is no longer the same.
Listen, I thought I was gonna die there.
No. But like, see, to me, when it comes to this shit, like, I boil it down to one thing. Cause see, I'll give you an example, right? When I think about these things, I'm torn in two ways. I'll give you an example, right? I am a 30-year-old black man, and right, I dropped out of my second year of university.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was dealing cocaine in the university town and I made more money than my professor. And I'm like, what the fuck can this motherfucker teach me about getting rich? You know what I'm saying? But here is the thing. I recognize a couple of things, right? People sometimes, like, for example, especially like in the immigrant community, people tend to try to be like, oh my God, you know, being an immigrant, it's so hard. Like, let me tell you something. I'm saying this because listen, I live a great life, but I don't take that shit for granted, and here is why. Mm-hmm. Here's a couple things that I understand. I know for a fact that me growing up in a country where I watched 1 million people get slaughtered over the course of 3 months gives me one thing that you may not have. You know what that thing is? It's perspective. Yeah. Because see, when we go through life, you and I, right? We both live in Toronto. We live, you know, similar. But like when shit hits me and when shit hits you, it's all about how you deal with it. See, me, I'm equipped with the fact that I'm like, oh, okay, like CRA is coming after me for X and Y reason. I'm like, that's what you gotta bring, motherfucker. I survived machetes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that perspective.
You ever seen Hotel Rwanda?
You know what I'm saying? No. But see, that perspective allows me to rise through things, and that ability to be able to go through life that way has gained me mentors that were like, oh shit, this kid is different. Let's, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I understand that in a way that is a sort of privilege within itself. But see, here's the thing. The fact that we're not having this kind of conversation, be like, okay, you know what? Why is it that these people who are like, okay, you know what? If there is a man out there in the sky who's trying to get me, and you know, he's making these polio vaccines and putting shit in the water in order to make the black man a homosexual. Like, you have no idea how many people on Instagram are arguing with. There is this guy named Rizza Islam. My God.
Reza Islam.
You know that. Oh my God.
I know the name. I haven't really.
Oh my God, dude. You gotta, like, his Instagram infuriates me to a level. He's the black version of Alex Jones.
Personally, I think Alex Jones is hilarious and I love it. And the reason I like Alex is because Reza, I can guarantee you right now.
Have you ever seen any of his videos?
No, but he's more insane now than Alex is.
Yeah, you know, he is.
No,
he is.
Alex 5 years ago, kind of insane.
And then he got deplatformed on most things.
Well, no, his own.
He had to slow down.
He became part of a conspiracy, and that's when he went like, "Oh, not everything is a conspiracy." But I think, okay, when you said when you came here to this country, and people are like, "Oh, he's an immigrant. We need to help him out." Or
no, that wasn't it. Nobody tried to help him out. See, here's the thing though with me. No, you know what it is with me though. I was like, there was nothing that can happen to me in Canada that would be like, because see, you have to understand, like, how do you give up? Yeah. How do you give up? You give up when you're like, things cannot get any worse than this. For me to hit rock bottom.
That's a really good point, because for most people it's, my business failed, which that's a horrible fucking thing when your business fails. It's not great. God. But when your town's being slaughtered?
Oh my God. Like, see, when you've been through that, you have that perspective where you're like, my God, I've survived way worse. Yeah. No. What the fuck?
And you're I'm in a country where they have roads.
Oh my God.
That are paved. And I'm sitting there, I hit a pothole, and you're like, in my country, there aren't even roads.
They're not even. No, but see,
there are
but
sinkholes.
But you know what though? But see, to me, I acknowledge that as a form of privilege because I do really well for myself, and I see kids who don't have.
I don't like the word privilege though. I think to you, it's just useful experience.
No, but see, it's useful experience. But see, if you had been through the same experiences that I have, you would have the same. Because see, what makes it what makes a difference?
Okay, well, what's your definition of a privilege?
See, to me, a privilege is it's all about how.
But is it something that is thrust upon you, or is it something you develop?
Hear me out.
That's the
no. It's all about how you interpret the terrible shit that happens in your life.
Okay.
Because we all have a mechanism through which we interpret. I'll give you an example. Okay, one of my really good friends, and this kid, I used to play tennis. When I went back home, I played tennis quite well, and I got an actual scholarship to go to university to play tennis, right? And through that I met the son of who's the Enron guy? God damn it, I'm drunk.
It was either one of the executives at Enron.
No. Who was the guy?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
We'll Google it later.
No, but shit. No, I had to tell you this story, so I had to find Bernie Madoff.
Oh shit!
Bernie Madoff's son.
Way.
Yeah. No. We used to play in the same league, right? This kid, his dad has been a billionaire.
But hold on, but you're black. How could you play in the same league as Bernie Madoff?
It's the extra twitch muscle. It's
That's Serena Williams
that
muscle.
Extra twitch muscle that that's what, no. But see, here's the thing though.
Yeah.
This kid and when his dad went to prison, 6 months later he killed himself.
Yeah.
Right? But see, now you gotta ask yourself, you're like, yo,
is that a privilege?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but what I'm trying to tell you though.
Yeah.
See, this guy who has lived his life
effortlessly,
beyond all levels of comfort, beyond all levels of luxury.
He couldn't handle
the fact that he would walk into the country club and people would be like,
yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I honestly, that's probably the most interesting take on privilege because it takes into, well, what do you think a privilege is? Because in your eyes,
privilege is just now money.
Yeah, privilege is it's such a vague term because you could go, is it actually a privilege to grow up without having to worry about anything? Is that a privilege?
Bro, think about
it's not.
Think about Robin Williams. Okay, we will all as comics. My God, having Robin Williams' career to us is it's beyond our dreams. You know what I'm saying? But how is it that a man like that, when you think about a man like that... Oh,
do you know actually why he killed himself?
Killing himself.
Because he actually had, this came out a year later, I heard the theory before, and then it was confirmed. Not many people know this. He found out he had a degenerative brain disorder, similar to Alzheimer's.
He killed himself too early, though. Listen,
he was 70 years old.
That. But see, again, it's the same exact
thing. No, but
he
literally got diagnosed with something that was like, your brain's going to deteriorate.
He was 70 when he died?
Yeah.
Really?
He's fucking old, dude.
Yeah.
Think about it. In the 80s, he was in his 40s, dude.
Robin Williams didn't become big until
late
70s,
early 80s, and he was in his 30s, 40s.
Shit, this guy was going hard.
He was in his late. I think he was 68 when he died, but he was diagnosed with he was basically told that, and then that's why it was funny that everyone's like, oh, it's mental health, and I'm like, because he had already talked. He already talked about on an interview how because he's thought about suicide from his depression, and it was an interview where he and you ever notice the people that actually commit suicide have never talked about it.
Unless you're
on that public, no, but on that,
you're 13 reasons why. I have this bit.
I know, but all the people that holy shit, that caught me off guard.
Right.
Very few of them have ever been open about, because it's something that just kind of took over them very quickly. Robin Williams admitted that he's like, I can't do it, and but he was genuinely diagnosed with. He didn't want to lose his mind, and that's
but that brings me to my point. It's all about perspective, because it's all about how you diagnose what.
But he didn't want to lose his mind. He'd rather go out now.
Yeah, so
which
that's what I mean.
I don't agree with it.
If you but see, if you came from Southeast Sudan,
you don't kill
all
yourself.
you need no. See, listen, if you come to Southeast Sudan and you become Robin Williams, a brain degenerative disorder is still not gonna be enough because you're gonna look back and be like, because to him he looked at it as like this is the worst.
Yeah.
And it is a terrible thing. I'm not trying to downgrade it.
Yeah.
But if you have been through something, there is not a lot of things out there that are worse than the brain degenerative disorder. But if you've been through something that is on your spectrum you consider worse, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is not rock bottom yet. It's just some other shit.
Because, like, for example, like my nana, she's getting like some dementia, and you could look at it as like it's really sad watching your nana get old and have dementia, and then the other side is my nana got murdered at 50. I met her, and then when I was 5, she died. You're like, fuck, that seems way worse. Like, it does.
It's a subjective thing, right? It's all about, like, see, my rock bottom and your rock bottom may be different, but see, the point that I'm trying to make is
everyone has
we didn't choose what the aspect of our rock bottom.
You have the most interesting perspective on privilege that because normally it's the way people defend privilege is, well, not everyone, when they say like white or whatever, it's always white privilege.
White privilege is not to me. It's not a real thing. Because see, I am way more privileged than a lot of white people.
And you know what's funny? the only like, I shouldn't say the only, but I find out anytime I've met specifically someone who is like an African immigrant, or especially like Nigerian, or they're like, I don't buy this shit. I don't because I came from a country where everyone's black. And they still kill each other. And then you realize it's not about color. People are evil. People do evil things.
People are evil.
And especially when you convince yourself that an entire, like, you could say, hey, most of, like, media, all this shit owned by Jewish people. There's a problem. You can go, okay. And then when someone stands up and goes, we need to, I'm kidding. I got to joke. And then when someone stands up and goes, yeah, we should kill all of them. You go, that's not the problem. Like, the problem isn't a demographic. The problem is an ideology that certain people hold. So when you go out, like, have you ever seen videos of guys getting pulled over? This cop was just happened to be in a neighborhood. This guy came speeding through a residential neighborhood. They step in front of the car, these two cops. They didn't pull him over. He literally came through a residential area, and they were like, you stop. And they start talking. I'm like, do you have your license? He cracks the window like this much. Like, you need to lower the window because they'll break the window if you don't.
Right.
So eventually lowers it, and he literally starts calling this cop a nigger faggot.
What?
He's like, you stupid faggot ass nigga. You don't need my fucking license.
Was the cop black?
Two white cops.
Right.
But they kept their cool, and they're like, and then like, man, why the fuck you pulling me over? God damn it, I wouldn't fucking do anything wrong. And he's like, this is a residential area. They were there for like, they were leaving a house call. Like, they were walking back to their cars. This guy just happened to, and they went out in front of him and stopped him. And he's, man, I'm fucking faggot ass nigga. I don't need to show you shit. I don't need to show you shit. You just pull me over because I'm black, motherfucker. And then the cops were like, dude, you're driving through a neighborhood going like fucking 40 miles an hour. Like, yeah, just show us your license. And he's like, he kept saying like, nigga, I don't gotta show you shit. And I'm sitting like, does this guy want to get dragged out of his car?
No, it's like, see, I have fairly controversial views on the idea of police brutality. And let me unpack this for a second, right?
Yeah.
See, especially in the black community, right? Yeah. There is this huge, massive cloud that hangs with us. They're like, literally, people have like, we have to have talks with our sons about police. Because see, to me, listen,
I got that talk too.
No. Hold on, no. But see, here's the thing. I don't think that there are cops waking up in the morning and being like, this is a good day from a good old Alabama coon hunt. Let's go find ourselves. Let's go find ourselves some niggas to murder this morning.
Yeah, like it's not 1940.
Like, no. Like that's just not what's going on. However, there is an issue with cops who are unable to de-escalate confrontations in a way that, like, you know, and but see, here's the problem. Here's what it is. Yeah. The moment you stamp that, oh, it's a race issue,
it ends the discussion.
You are addressing the wrong problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you try to resolve it. You're not going to resolve the problem of police brutality. Because, listen. Because, first of all, like, here's one thing I always say, right? Mm-hmm. No one, even if you're racist, you weren't born racist. Mm-hmm. Most everybody becomes racist for one reason only. You want to fit into the demographic in which you live. If you grew up, I'll give you an example, okay? A clear example is Donald Sterling. You remember that guy that used to own the Los Angeles Clippers, and his half black, half Mexican girlfriend recorded him being like, I don't want you to bring them to my games.
Yeah,
I don't care if you fuck them. I don't care if you talk to them. Just don't put pictures on Instagram. I'm like, motherfucker, you 80. Why you care about clout? You see how powerful clout is?
He didn't. He was like, don't publicly show him a cup.
Embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? I bought you a Ferrari, bitch. Like, don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But see, here's the thing. If I grew up in 1940, fucking Chattanooga, goddamn North Carolina, or whatever the fuck, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right? I know Chattanooga is like one of those towns that sounds
that
like
just
they lynch somebody.
It sounds it sounds like it'd be served with collard greens. I'll have the Chattanooga.
I'll have the Chattanooga special.
They probably call it Chattanooga.
No. But Chattanooga is in I don't know where. I think it's in Tennessee. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it just sounds like a town where somebody got lynched.
Not New York.
You know, it's not New York.
Actually,
definitely.
I think there's a Chattanooga.
Right, but see, if you grew up in the 1940s around there, and everybody, because let me tell you something. You know, as a white man, right?
Yeah.
As a white man, if you were born, let's say, in the 30s, one of the biggest crimes you could ever be accused of is to be a nigger lover. Ooh, that shit make sure that you didn't get no discount of the goddamn store. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody looked at you funny, like you are a nigger lover. Like, what? You are
it was weird because there was this weird, in terms of history, there was this weird period between, because everyone focuses on like on slavery ends, and then Jim Crow, which was one state. Jim Crow laws were in one state.
No, Jim Crow. No. Okay. I'm gonna have to stop you there because here's the thing. Here's the point that I'm trying to make.
Use your computer,
right? No. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is, listen. At the end of the day, no one moonwalks out of their mom's belly and decide to like, oh, show me to them niggers. I need to do a little hanging. Yeah. That doesn't work like that, right? So that means like you grow up in an environment where, as human beings, we are creatures that need to fit in.
Yeah, you could argue you're like, born
like me being racist.
Yeah.
Me being racist is in order. It's important for my survival. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But see, unless we have those kind of conversations, because here's what happens now. Fast forward to 2019.
Yeah.
Because I always tell this. I'm like, listen, like the history of the black man, especially in North America, right? If you look at it, nobody really gives a fuck about skin color. The only color that really matters is green, and that's the dollar, right? See, as black people, we came, like, not me. Like, I actually flew here on that.
I was going to say, you came here way after slavery.
No. Listen, no. I showed up here on Air Canada. Like, that was like, I came here on purpose. But see, like, generally speaking, right? Like when the black man first came to this continent, right? We came at the bottom of boats. You know, you were chained up. And history tells you that it took 400 years for some guy named Abraham Lincoln to be like, why is Kunta always bleeding? I think slavery is no good.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with it.
That is not the truth.
That's not the truth at all.
Emancipation of slavery was an economical...
It was after the Civil War. It was a byproduct of the Civil War.
You know how the Civil War started, though? Because the North which was much more industrial, could not stand for the South to secede because the South really mainly depended on that free labor, and they're like, yo, we don't need you, motherfucker.
But they were actually being there. It was funny because the North, which was Republican essentially, they were making more money because they had more consumers, because black people in the South couldn't buy products.
But the South had less expense when it came to
their economy was stagnant because they were selling to the North because there were more people who could buy because they had black people who could fucking work.
But see,
so they didn't notice that.
But see, imagine, because the South was like, yo, listen, we can get those factories back here and take advantage of free labor. The guys in the North are like, fuck that. This is not going to happen. So slavery did not end because white people felt bad. Slavery ended because it made sense.
The Industrial Revolution saved slaves.
No, but see, it's the same exact play that replicates itself. Fast forward to the 1960s. Now, black people are riding in the back of the bus. We're having to go to different schools. We're drinking out of different fountains.
All in the Democratic
States. And so on and so forth. But things did not change because some lady was like, I'm not going to give up my seat. Like, that's not why things changed. Things changed when black people started doing things like boycotting the bus. Now, if I'm the guy that owns the bus company and I'm funding the congressman who's actually enacting laws and I need that nigga dollar to be able to come in order for me to be able to continue my business, I'm going to be like, yo, this shit needs to change. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward to the 90s, right? Now, suddenly, black people not only influence culture, but you have the advancement of hip-hop. Now we are the curators of cool. Now you have a man like who what's the name of the guy who played Kramer on
we all know who you're talking about. It's Kramer, but
But Kramer goes on stage and says the N-word 3 or 4 times, and he disappears out of the ether.
Why are you not saying it? I've said it more times this podcast.
No. Hey, listen, brother. Let me tell you something. Your Netflix special in 2025 has been canceled.
Good. I'll go to fucking YouTube. I'll go straight to YouTube.
No, but see. Here's the thing, though. Yeah. He goes on stage, and he offends. He says that he
walked a whole
the
crowd.
N-word. But see, he said that a couple of times, and now we don't even know if he's still alive. Can you tell me if this motherfucker's like, where is he now?
He was on Jerry Seinfeld's show.
No.
But the comedians in cars getting coffee.
He is on one of the biggest syndicated shows in the world, but this guy cannot even walk into the Yuck Yucks and do a set. You understand? Like, Jim Crow is turning into his grave. Like, what did he do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Now, fast forward to the 2000s, where now, you have white women out there really explicitly getting ass shots, getting fucking lip injections.
So, are you saying that black people ruined the country?
No, here's what I'm saying.
These women are getting ass shots.
No, here's what I'm saying.
Big butts and shit.
Progress is happening.
Yeah.
The problem is people have no sense of perception as to where we were because nobody's willing to have an honest conversation.
What's your... Okay, so you don't... when you think of like African American, black... Because I separate the two. You're black. You're not African American.
No, listen, I am free range black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You are.
I am green fed, free range.
Whatever
black.
The opposite of Wagyu is, that's you.
Exactly.
But like, okay,
I do love Wagyu.
So when people say African American, when people say African American to refer to like black people, I don't get it. Because you have Caribbean American, African American, you have Puerto Rican. There's somebody. So you to me are African.
Right.
How old were you when you moved?
I was 17.
Okay, so you had already gone through your adolescence.
Oh, I was fucking in Africa, bro.
Yeah,
I got traces of African pussy on my dick right now.
Yeah, that's called AIDS.
I love it. That's called AIDS. It's literally because it was sub-Saharan Africa too, like that.
Yeah.
No. But see, before you come into Canada, though, they have to check you. Ladies, I'm just
You're
letting
good.
you know. Listen,
no, he was good when he was 17.
If you're thinking about suing, bitch, no.
You didn't get it. So what is? I want to know what's your view on like, quote unquote, black culture in America versus like okay, when you came here, I'm sure you already knew because we lived in it. You already had access to music.
Well, yeah, I grew. Yeah, I grew,
so you knew of
yeah,
it. But if you were to take yourself out of knowing like American black culture, and you just or even Canadian, they're very similar because Canada gets all shit from the States. So whatever. But if you just if you went strictly based on Rwanda and then moved here, what like and then some. I'm just always curious because it's like when I'm third generation Canadian. My grandparents are Scottish, right?
Right.
When I went to Scotland, I had this idea of like I'm fucking Scottish as shit, and then when I went there, I'm like I am so Canadian.
Yeah.
I am not Scottish. So I feel like it's like when Dave Chappelle went to Africa and he's like, or this is totally fucking different. Do you feel that sense? Like, do you feel like you get treated differently by black guys who are like born here, like, oh, you're from the motherland, and like, what's that like?
no. Do you know what it is? Okay, there's a bit of a difference. Okay, so I kind of gotta like dissect it for you because before I moved to Canada, so I moved to Canada in April of 2006, but I first moved to the States in July of 2005. Right?
Okay.
So to me, like it's. Like I said, like I don't even like it's because Canada is such a melting pot that we don't have anybody being like, "This is my goddamn country," and there are some of them that are rising.
I think there's the term melting pot means everyone assimilates. Canada, I feel is like a very
it's good. No. You know what it is? You know
it's
what
mosaic.
You know what melting pot means? Nobody can claim it. Nobody can really claim it. Most of us,
it's like when Mexican food and Japanese food
if
combine.
You were like, for example, like you said, like your family came from like how many generations?
My grandparents are.
Your
from
grandparents.
Scotland. Yeah.
Fuck you. You cannot claim the country. If the guy who came here owned the boat is still alive,
so am I more Scottish? Am I more Scottish than I am Canadian?
I don't give a fuck what you are, but you cannot be like, oh, this is my country.
Culturally, would you see? That's the thing. I like Scottish food, and I like Scottish.
Is that a thing? There is such a thing as Scottish cuisine.
Oh, it's
like
the
what
best.
Is it? Like what? Like meat pie? Like what is it? Like what do we?
Yeah, we invented meat pie.
I did a lot of white.
Okay.
How did you? Are you not surprised that like
Scottish and Irish food is very similar to like African American slave food because the Scottish and Irish were the slaves.
And shit?
Dude, have you ever heard? You know what haggis is? It's all the scraps of usually use organ meat, but they got to the point where like we can use some better meat now that we're not slaves. But it was
slaves to who? Who the
English?
Slaves, though. We're just gonna throw that word out there.
Yeah, like, you realize slavery didn't start with you guys, right?
No. Okay,
the Chinese were slaves.
I know the Jews and the Chinese, like
everyone's been slaves at some point. I'm not saying my grandpa, but I'm talking about the food is similar, and that's where a lot of different like food comes from what you have access to.
No, but see, you asked me a question, and I actually really want to answer that question.
Okay, with the black thing.
Yes, you did. So you asked me like, okay, like
what do you find different? What do you find strange?
You want me to tell you? Let me tell you what's strange is this. Okay, now I'm gonna sound like Candace Owen, but there is this almost victim mentality. Yeah. And see, to me, when I look at it, here's how I look at it. If the black man had invented the firearm and the sailboat before the white man, you motherfuckers would have been picking cotton in Sierra Leone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that is the truth.
Yeah.
Right? No, that is the honest, genuine truth.
It's like Mongolians and Chinese. They're very similar genetically, but the Mongolians figured out something.
Exactly. Like
they did it first.
The only difference is we got beat to the punch.
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. This is it. So how do we deal with it? You can choose two things. You can decide to be that person who's gonna be like, oh my God.
My turn now.
No, you can be Riza Islam. You can be like, oh my God, the man is out here trying to get me through vaccines and toothpaste and water and you know what I'm saying? Or you can be like, fuck, I see the game and I'm going to play it, which is what I decided to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but see, I understand also that the motherfucker who decides to be a little liberal bitch, I don't know, Netflix, I only say that with the most respect.
Whatever, man. Fuck Netflix. I'll say it right now. They're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go broke in 4 years.
Yeah, that's true. They are overexpending. But that is beside the point. But see, here's the thing, though. Even the way that I feel about it, I don't think that I am special because I think the way that I do or that I make the money that I do. It's not because I'm special. It's because I've been through a set of circumstances that has led me to think the way that I do. Yeah. So I don't think that, you know, if I was born here and, you know, like if you look at like, you know, like people talk about like.
What role does free will have in for you? Because you're very focused, I find, on, obviously the way you grow up has a lot to do with a bunch of shit. No duh. But what amount of free will do you think has a role in how people live their life? Because I feel like
I don't believe
now
in free will. I don't think it's a real thing.
Okay.
Right. No. Like it's just like no. Like it's to me. Like,
I struggle with. I'm very torn between.
No. See, listen. There is no need to be torn. All you are is a combination of two things: your genetics and your environment. You cannot be any different. Anyone that was up, right. If you have to decide between point A and point B, let's say, for example, you have to decide between cheating on your girlfriend and not cheating on your girlfriend, right? And you decide to go one way or another.
But did you decide that?
I get confronted with that.
No, but hold on. So here's the thing. Why do we put people in prison? Why do we condemn bad behavior if there's not at least some sort of aspect of free will?
Because evolutionarily, as human beings, we are conceived to exact vengeance. Vengeance must.
Does that make it? Then why
it's a terrible thing.
Then why do people not? Why do people show? That's why I wish I was like religious. Like I really wish I was. Because
why? That's a terrible thing to wish upon yourself.
No, I used to be a very atheist, liberal kind of person.
And then what happened? You went to prison and
no, I'm not the kind of person where it's like I didn't feel like there was a moment where I got saved because I still don't believe in
Are you saved?
God. No, fuck no, fuck. I wish that's like I want to be able to believe in God, and that because I look at what we are biologically, and a lot of people have this misconception that like religious people don't accept biology. They accept the fact that human nature is 100% a thing, and the nature nurture, that's a thing. But then you get to the level of like, well, okay, for slavery is a great example. Genetically, we are very different, right? Is your life worth more?
No, not different though. But like it's not the genetics. It's the environment.
Okay, are we different people?
I don't think so. I think if you grew up in Rwanda and you were exposed to the same exact thing that I've been through, you would be me.
No, but I'm just saying on it because you said genetics and environment. So let's take environment out because that's. But genetically, we are different.
You can't take it out.
We are. Well,
yeah, genetically, yes, we okay.
Is one of our lives worth more than the other?
No, of course.
Why?
Not. Because
why?
It's not, okay.
But why? That's that question of like, so we can agree that Usain Bolt and me, totally different people. Muhammad Ali and skinny little Jewish kid, totally different people. But when he comes down to like, all men are created equal, just those little parts, or don't bear false witness. These truths that aren't biologically true. Of course, lying serves you as a purpose. Lying has a purpose that is, we're designed to lie. We're designed to save ourselves. And so that's the part where I'm like, if I believed in God, this would make sense, but I don't, so I don't. No.
No. But see, you don't need to believe in God to be an ethical person. And that
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about.
Let me address this. Okay. See, to me, here is my views on the whole religion thing. Okay. Right. I feel like the moment that science is able to answer that one question that plagues the human being the moment you're old enough to ask it, which is, what happens when I die? The moment science could be like, yes, you go into a room and then da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da happens, God will fucking disappear out of the ether. No, seriously. Most people don't believe in God because they want to be better people. Most people believe in God as an insurance policy.
No, but that's not true though, because okay, if I wanted it to be an insurance policy, I can't lie to myself. Here's the weird dilemma is that the thing of like, well, if I don't believe, then I go to hell, blah blah blah. Okay, if I were to pretend that I believed in God, like if I were to tell you right now I believe in God,
right?
The fact that I know I'm lying, and if there is a God, he knows I'm fucking lying.
Yeah, no. But
that's
no.
That's the fucked up part. Is
most people don't tell themselves. Most people don't tell themselves that they're lying. Most people are like, okay, I wanna split the tent.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
But what you're literally saying is what I thought 2 years ago. So I know exactly why you're saying this, and I know the thought process that it's not like I've never thought of this shit. It's not like you're not gonna blow my mind with like, oh, where do we go when we die? Or like, can God make a stone that he can't lift because it's too big? It's like, oh fuck, I never thought of that. Like these questions have been around for a long time, right. And I'm not saying I'm saying I wish I did. And that's me being honest, because if I wanted to lie to you and pretend that I believe in God so he'd let me into his club,
which is the equivalent lying to me and lying to the Almighty.
Exactly. if you walk around just saying, and that's one of the things of like living your life like you actually believe, instead of those people that like some pastor's daughter who he convinces to get an abortion because he doesn't want everyone knowing his daughter. Like that's not believing in that's you being false. And if you actually believe in God, you'll know that God knows you did that, right? So that's a guy who doesn't believe in God. That's him putting on a facade, or was it facade or facade?
Yeah, facade. Facade. Like no. You know what my problem is though? Here is what my issue is with religion. My issue is
which one?
Belief. No. Belief influences behavior. Mm-hmm. I do not give a fuck about what you believe in. But let's say, for example, if you believe in a God...
a little bit.
No, hold on. If you believe in a God that says that anyone who does not believe in your God is therefore an infidel and must perish, and therefore it justifies you walking into the mall and murdering children, then I have a problem.
Okay, but which religion says that?
Listen, we can talk. But like, for example, I come from a country that is 30% Muslim, right? So a part of religion.
Which kind? There's Sunni, Shia.
No. But like for us, it was different. It was more like the past. Like it was more like Sunni Islam. But I'm talking about those people who are like super hardcore, who are, and by the way, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
If I grew up in a country where, the imam in my community, it is the voice of authority and wisdom around me, and they tell me, hey, look, Allah has expectations of you that say, hey, you must...
if you get killed for not believing in them,
yes.
Like I grew up believing in God to a degree when I was a kid, but I never
based out of fear.
But I never did based out of fear, and that's why I never had that. Okay, Islam means to submit.
Does it?
It does.
Yeah.
Israel means the name is it literally translates to wrestle with God. So there's a very big difference to submit to God and to wrestle with the idea of it.
No, but see, here is the thing. Like, see, I'm not gonna engage into, because see, to me, both concepts make no sense, because to me, I don't believe in this real estate agent God that is like, okay, I am going to assign this land to you and your people.
No, I get that.
You see what I'm saying? But like, see, listen, if you are running for president of the United States, and you don't believe that a long time ago some divine power decided to become a fucking, county zone agent that that dissects land to X, Y, and Z, you can never get elected.
You're literally talking about like Judaism and Islam.
No, but see, listen, I don't give a fuck if your belief says, hey, for 6 days in December, we do X, Y, and Z. I don't care about that. When you're saying that now, your belief says that you have an actual given right to a set of land where people now are going to die.
But that's
we have a problem.
You're dancing around the fact that this is Judaism and Islam.
No, it is Judaism and Islam.
Okay,
but see,
I'm not talking about those
they're
two.
Both
though.
of the two. No,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like Christianity is the same. Christianity
It
is
is
the same
not.
exact thing.
Okay, in the Talmud, it says that Jesus is literally burning in hell in a pile of shit and piss. You can't tell me that.
In what? In what? Well,
The
what?
Talmud.
What is that?
The Jewish Talmud. It's the 600-page book of fucking weird shit that no Jew ever agrees on what Judaism is. There's a part of the Talmud that says that people who don't believe in Judaism can be lied to because they're equivalent to cattle.
But listen, books are written by men.
Right. So you can't say that. You can't say.
No, listen. I'm not saying that one religion is any better than another. The point that I'm trying to make is this: religion itself as a concept.
But before we get down the organized religion part, at no point did I ever say I want to believe in Christianity. I said I want to believe in God because I have questions that cannot, like, what makes
that cannot
divinity
be
of humanity.
Yet.
Yeah,
there was a time where going into a rocket
but you cannot.
and rising.
But science has said that all men aren't created equally. Men aren't created equally. You can't tell me that men.
No. Of course not. But see,
are men equal?
And that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Are all
listen,
people equal?
It's one thing to believe, and it's another thing to believe based on insufficient evidence.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the soul. I'm talking about what are men created equally? Yes.
What
or no?
the fuck is a soul? There is no scientific justification to a soul other than the shit that your rabbi or your priest or whoever else has told you.
Again, you're bringing it back to. I'm not talking. You're going really specific. This. Right. Okay. My only question is, according to science, are all people created equally? Yes
according
or
no? No. It is no. They're not.
Okay.
And they never will be. Do you know why? Because nature cannot have everybody on an equal plane. Because evolution. But see, here's the problem though. The moment it's either when you are an extensive liberal who's like, you're going out of the line. I'm trying to land. Let me land the point. Land the point.
Land the plane.
It doesn't matter what way that you take it. Yeah. Unless you are in the middle, you're failing. The problem is
I don't.
Human beings cannot be able to sustain the middle ground. It's either you are on one side of the polar opposite or you on the other.
What in the fuck did that have to do with our men and women created equal?
No. Like you asked me, you're like, hey, according to science says like X, Y, and Z.
No. All I said was, according to science, are all people created equally? The answer is no. So why is one life not worth more than the other?
No, all lives are worth the same. No. All life. No. Like, listen. Life itself.
Human life.
Whatever. We can go.
If your dog dies, that's not nearly as sad as your mother or a human dying.
No, listen. There is a lot of motherfuckers out there that I know that if I had to choose between them or my dog dying, I'd be like, take the motherfucker.
Because they're evil.
Not even the fact that they're evil. I'm just like,
you just like your dog.
There is motherfuckers that I know today that like I was with them and they sent me a check. But
I'm not saying any of this proves God. When I started this, all I said was...
So what is your question? What is your...
No, all I said was I wish I did because then things would make more sense. We're agreeing. I cannot fathom the idea of God, but that's the point of wrestling.
You
with
want
the
comfort. You want the comfort.
It's less comforting because science tells you, oh, we're all just going to die and nothing means anything and your life doesn't matter.
Science doesn't say that.
Yeah, it does. Science says you're going to bury. And okay, what does your life mean then?
Let me tell you the difference between science and religion.
There isn't
science, one. No. Let me tell you something.
There isn't one.
Science is okay not knowing yet.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
Let me tell you something. There is something about religion that, in order for religion to work, it demands certainty.
No, it doesn't. No,
of course.
It literally means no. It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
How do you think that they control people?
No, that's what Islam is, and that's the difference between.
No.
Yes,
it's not just Islam.
This isn't
it's
even
Christianity at the same time.
It's not. The whole point of Christianity is you have to accept one thing. And that's it. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so in science, what are the things you have to accept?
No. Like
the scientific method. That's the thing you have to accept.
No. Okay. What is the scientific method? It's the ability to be able to test things over and over again until
why is it when you start to question certain things in science, they just say, well, all these people, like for global warming and shit, their argument is all these scientists agree with it. You can't. Are you going to look me straight and say science is not corrupt?
No.
Research isn't corrupt. AIDS research.
Here's the point that I'm trying
cancer
to make,
research.
But see, here's the thing that I'm trying to make. Science, at least, is willing to be wrong.
The
Let
method.
me give you an example.
The method.
No, but see, at least it's willing to be wrong and grow and adapt.
But what is when you the way you worded that?
Right.
You worded it like science was a god.
No.
Science
it's not
is
a
willing
god.
to be wrong.
No. It's the ability. It's
who is science? Who is science?
Okay, we don't. Now we're getting into semantics.
But right. It's interesting the way people. It is.
No. Now you're engaging into semantics. The point that I'm trying to make is this.
Yeah.
The ability to be willing to be wrong and adjust.
Yeah.
Is what gives way to progress. The problem with religion, I'll tell you what the problem with religion is. See, religion has been used as a tool of power for a long time. God, like the king and the church, work hand in hand together in order to control the people.
Do you think
what
that
do you
you're...
think the Bible,
you
what do you think the
no,
Bible is called the King James Bible? That means before that shit got released.
I'm not talking about the Bible, though. I'm talking about
I'm giving you an example.
But do you think your environment of growing up in Rwanda in a Muslim country has affected your view of religion?
No, it's not. It's not.
You just said though that your environment.
I didn't grow up. No, the country was majoritarily Christian.
Right.
But a certain portion of it
do you think the way your country was run affects your view of religion? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
How could it not?
The way my household was run. I'll give you an example, okay?
But you're said environment.
I grew up. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, so my mother is an OR nurse, right? This woman.
She saw some shit.
No. Listen. This woman makes a living out of extracting bullets.
Yeah.
Out of human beings, right?
Yeah.
But some way, somehow, she believes that the origin of humanity on earth ensued from some sort of like soap opera drama between a man, a woman, and a talking snake. It's not because one day she was walking to the fucking 7-Eleven and she was like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's a talking snake. That's not what happened.
Right.
See, let me tell you what it is. The truth of the matter is,
so do you think
she knows.
No,
hold on. Let me land this. Let me land this. She believes in a talking snake because if she didn't, it would drown out the best part of belief, because she believes that one day she too shall die, rise to the skies, and spend an eternity singing hymns and eating oranges with Jesus, and fucking relatives who phone calls she's fucking ignored her whole entire life.
You are making it seem like though that you're making it seem like people haven't thought of this shit before.
But that is why belief is set up that way.
But one of the biggest points in Christianity is evil exists and you have to fight it.
Christianity.
Have you read the Bible?
Of course I have, bro.
No, listen. You haven't.
No. Listen. Let me tell you something, bro. When I was growing up, okay, I've been baptized, confirmed. I've been through the whole entire kaboob and shebang.
But you also saw some intense shit, correct?
I saw some intense shit.
But you were just saying 20 minutes ago that the only thing that affects you is your environment.
But I had to learn. Eventually.
Let me finish my point.
Yeah.
You finish yours. Right. So you just said before that your environment, and I don't disagree with that, your genetics and your environment have such a huge role to play. Right. Do you think your severe hatred of religion comes from that?
I don't have a severe hatred for religion.
I think you do.
No, I don't. Let me tell you what it is.
Not for the people, but I think you saw a very it's like, okay, I have a lot of sympathy for someone who grew up in a Catholic church that was corrupted and they got molested.
I wasn't molested.
I know. I'm not saying you were. I'm not saying you were. You were African. You had a gun when you were 7. You cut that priest's arm off real quick.
Motherfucker, don't jerk me up.
But I
do this myself.
And I totally get that the men or mankind is always will be evil and corrupt. That is so. Anytime there's any system of power, I get all of that. I get the Catholic Church has done it. I get school teachers have done it. Anyone who's had a little bit of power over an individual, 100%. And that was one of the big divides over, like the Catholics and the Protestants. Right. A big part of that was the Catholics. They were fucking rock stars, man. They were the only ones that could read. And and when you had to handwrite a Bible and then
you understand what I meant by power now?
But exactly. So the Protestants were the people who basically were like, hey, you can just especially once the printing press in the 1400s or 1500s got invented, they could print Bibles, and now it's like, hey, you don't have to go to this guy. You could just read it. And the Catholics were like, fuck you. I have all this. I have all these.
But the
and they were getting,
Protestants were the first ones
to read the Bible.
That translated from Latin.
Yeah,
because the reason
right.
the reason why the Bible was in Latin for a long time,
no one read Latin.
Only the priests
knew Latin.
But so now you understand. It's not a question of being so much closer to God.
No, there's
been a
but that even says in part of the biggest parts of religion is that man is corrupt. Evil does exist. Human nature is
to answer
flawed.
Your question, to answer your question, as a 7-year-old boy,
I can totally see why.
In catechism class, I did not know all of this.
Yeah,
it's not until I was old enough for me to be able to be like, wait a minute. Yeah. So you're gonna tell me that some 60-year-old dude and his sons built a big ass boat,
600.
You know what I'm saying? And and all the one of every animal in the world, and these animals did not eat each other. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I find when they teach the Bible to children in a very literal sense, and they never really explain the metaphorical part behind it. But that's when you get generations of people who believe it literally, and that's when you get creationism, which is nonsense.
You have to understand, in order for the church to cement its power, the Bible cannot be metaphorical.
But it is metaphorical.
The Quran it is, but it cannot be thought as a metaphorical thing. See, in order for hell,
that was men who turned it literal. Turned it, exactly. Yeah, okay, we agree on that. Men turned the story literal to further convince people.
The same way that man is the one that wrote it. Yeah. There is no creator in the universe. Because see, listen, imagine a creator of the universe and their knowledge and the fact that they created the stars and the moon and the planets.
You realize
what kind of book? What kind of book would they actually?
You realize
write?
I still don't believe in God. Right?
No, I know, but see,
we have very similar stories where we both were taught it, and then I was a very staunch atheist, and now I'm at this point where it's like I'm halfway. I got one foot in the water and one. Still,
because you don't know what's gonna happen when you die.
No,
That's
it has. No. I know what's gonna happen when I die. I'm gonna die.
No, but like you want to know.
It all started with the question. It literally, I can tell you because I used to not care what happened when I die, and I still don't. If there's a heaven, I'll go or not, whatever. And I can't control that. So what's the point of wondering? For me, it came from the question, why are men created equal?
But you know what? Again, see,
that had more to do with morality.
That brings me back to the question that you asked me. It had to do with
morality.
So it has to do with growth. It's eventually when you expose to this shit long enough, eventually you start finding chinks into the armor. Because see, to me, here is what I know. If the Bible was really written by a creator of the universe,
it's not.
I know it isn't, but like let's just, for the sake of conversation, assume that it was, right? See, to me, I look at this beautiful, fucking amazing universe that we're in, and I'm like, yo.
Beautiful? It's a fucking hellhole out there, man. Holy shit.
No. Hey, listen, it depends on who you ask.
Go to space, you'll die.
But like, listen. Regardless of anything, though, but like, there is so many differences between planets and stars,
right?
And like all these things. Like, think about like whoever created this whole fucking thing. What kind of book would they write? Like, what kind of book? Like, if you read the Bible, there are verses in the Bible that say that if you were to find out that your wife is not a virgin on your wedding night, you have the right to stone her in front of her father's doorstep.
What's wrong with that? No. I'm kidding.
Listen, brother. Okay, as somebody who tastes the merchandise before I buy it,
I'm not even.
But think about it. Like, as a creator of the universe, if you were going to write a book, the book will be filled with so much wisdom. So much, like, if you decided right now, if you decide to write your own version of the Bible, it will be much better than whatever the version of the Bible is.
Well, the thing is, though, is that one, I know it's written by people because God can't use a pen. He
created the universe. I'm sure he can write. I'm sure he can read and write.
I think here's you.
I would love to believe
you're assuming that I think certain things that I don't, And no, it's true because you're saying was the Bible written by God, and you go, well, obviously it wasn't.
You know what I feel like? I feel like you're telling me that I'm misgendering you.
You are. You're misreligiousing
me. You're misreligioning me.
But it's no, because you're saying things and I'm going like, yeah, you know, and I know those things.
No, because you asked me a question. You're like, how did you transition? And like, if you like.
But I went through the same process as you of like, obviously this was written, but like I went through that and I for most of my adult life and teen life, which is where I really think you cement. You talk about cementing, that's when you cement. Right. Between the ages of 15 and like 23, 24, once your frontal cortex
you matured
is done,
much better than me. Like it's like to me, like this shit didn't start until I was like 24. Like I remember, like I lost like my first business failed, and I had to move back into my parents' house.
Oh yeah,
and I had a lot of time.
But you didn't kill yourself after that?
No. Listen, that
was a throwback. That was a throwback.
Remember. I'm looking back and I'm like, I survived the genocide. This ain't a damn thing. I will land back on my feet no matter what it takes. That is called genocide privilege. I want to coin the term. As it is, but for real though, like it is one of those things that like, hey, to me, here is what I know. I first of all, I know two things. One, I am okay not knowing. That is number one.
I am too.
Two, I am unwilling to believe anything on insufficient evidence. I'll give you an example, right? Today is what? Wednesday?
You mean Jussie Smollet?
Hey boy, you're killing me right now. But see, here's the thing, right?
The Mueller report.
No, we get onto that. That actually. Like I know. I saw you like checking your clock. Like, see, here's the thing. Like,
I have a group text and I saw JJ or a group message. I saw JJ Lieberman. I'm like, oh, what crazy?
Oh shit! What did JJ Lieberman say?
He was just asking to go on earlier.
Shout out to JJ. That's my dog.
He's just asking to get on a show earlier.
That's my dog. But see, here's the thing, right? On Sunday coming up, there is going to be 1 billion people all around the world. That gather inside some fancy building, and they're gonna rise a cracker to the skies, and they're gonna recite some words upon it, and that cracker.
I think all that's nonsense,
right?
No.
But see, here's the thing, though. I understand the necessity for some people.
Yeah.
To be
community,
able, like,
community.
It's like
it's
fuel.
Community.
It's
community.
Like fuel, right? We all wish we had cars that did not necessitate to go to the gas station. But see, you know what? There are some cars now that are solar powered. Eventually,
no, there
it's gonna
aren't.
Happen. No, they aren't now. But see, to me, like I believe that the moment you free yourself from the bullshit, and it's not because I'm saying that the bullshit is not necessary. Yes, some people do need the bullshit in order to go from day to day.
But to them, yours is bullshit. Like you both think each other's is bullshit, right?
No. But here's the thing. Facts don't come in male and female. It's facts.com and that's it. There is no plus or minus. It's either there is a first century carpenter that is going to come back at some point or another and rise the dead, or there isn't.
Yeah. No,
right? Like it's
again.
Either you can be wrong or you can be right.
Again,
there is no like.
That's why I struggle with it because it's
there is no first century cab driver who's gonna come back and be like, oh, I'm not the Jesus. It's Kumar. I'm Kumar Christ. Like there is, you know what I'm saying? That there is no room for error.
Yeah.
It's either there is a first century carpenter who died on a cross, resurrected, rose to the skies, and is gonna ride a horse all the way down and rise the dead and condemn, or there isn't.
Yeah, no. Again, you make it seem like I believe this because I don't.
No, but there are some people listening to us that do, right?
But the thing is this is why I find the term like spiritualism weird, because people throw it around, but then you go, oh, do you believe in God? And they go, oh, no. And I'm like, okay, I get not wanting to conform to a book, because I think to the Bible's credit, there's a lot of shit in there that is good, and I feel like left to our human animal instincts, we would all. That's when you diverge into just pure chaos. Once shit hits the fan. But what is it?
Like, tell me something in the Bible. Oh, okay, other than the obvious shit, because to me, when I read the Bible,
like the basic 10 Commandments shit. No one before had thought like I shouldn't, because think of how easy it was to get away with murder. Someone had to see you. Someone had to see people go, oh, I wouldn't murder. Someone like, yeah, because there's fucking cameras everywhere and fingerprints, dude. 100 years ago, how easy it was to murder, let alone thousands. Would unless someone saw you and what was he wearing? I don't know, fucking a cloth over his dick,
and those Arab Bethlehems.
Yeah. You know, like I have one arm. They'd be like, it was the one arm guy, like the one who got bit off by a saber tooth. Like which fucking one arm guy was it? So when people say now, like, oh, I would not commit murder. It's like, well, of course now you wouldn't.
Yeah, because there's cameras everywhere. Fuck you.
And of course,
it's not because you're a better person.
And of course, people did commit murder because evil is a thing and it exists, and that's but even just the basic 10 Commandments. Not Judaism's got 600. It's fucking insane. Even that's what I love most about Judaism is that like Mormons are they'll knock on your door. Christians will talk to you at the bar so you think but Jews, if you go, I'm thinking of becoming Jewish, they just go, don't do it. Please don't do it. You don't want to be in this. You get
a free ticket to Israel.
No, because you have the amount of okay. Here's another thing about the Jewish religion I find interesting. If you're not Jewish, you go. Again, this is not avoiding the Talmud. If you're Jewish, this is from what I've heard from Jews. If you're not Jewish, Judaism is a very act-based versus Christianity is very faith-based, and Islam is a very submission-based. Those are ways you can separate them. So according to Judaism, as long as you are,
you understand, as a white man,
yeah,
you're saying this on a mic.
I don't care. So according to Judaism, as long as you are a general good person, you'll still get to heaven. But the moment you are Jewish, you now have to do you have to eat kosher. That's so they don't look at Christians and go, how dare you eat meat with cheese. They go, fuck you for being able to eat meat with cheese. I want a cheeseburger, because that Christian's gonna get into heaven. Even if they do all, as long as they don't kill anyone, they're fine. But the moment so that's when you convert to Judaism, they're like, "Are you fucking sure? Go to a synagogue tomorrow."
How do you not see the
weirdness?
No. It's not even a weirdness. I could see how there is some motherfuckers who are selling cheese and some motherfuckers who aren't, who are like, how do we get these motherfuckers to stop buying the cheese because we want to fuck? To me, when I dissect that, I'm like, it's so fucking obvious.
Well, one of the reasons you can't eat pork is because back then it was killing people.
Yeah,
and same with there are these weird rules that kind of made sense, but
which one was the one about shit? There is one about
there's 600. I don't fucking know.
You can't shit where you live. And you know what? See, that's exactly
that
what
makes
I'm saying.
sense. You don't want to spread fecal. Yeah,
it makes sense, right?
Right.
So, here's the problem though. Unless we are able, there are still in 2019.
Yeah.
There is a motherfucker right now in Aleppo, Syria, who
shitting in his kitchen.
No.
Because he didn't read the goddamn Bible.
You know what? Okay, you know what? I can say this confidently. You're racist. I can say it, and I feel like because you have one arm, you think you can get away with this shit, and it's just no. This is getting out of hand. God damn it! We can be racist off the mic. God damn it. No, but seriously though, there is a motherfucker out there who truly believes that by walking into a Starbucks and murdering children, he will be given 72 virgins for eternity. And that is where my decision, I don't know which comedian said that. I think somebody said, but I had thought about it. Do you ever see, do you ever watch somebody's special and you're like, yo, I thought about that before? See, I always said that if anybody who's getting some pussy on Thursday is not gonna blow themselves up on Tuesday. It ain't just gonna happen. Can you imagine how many motherfuckers call?
That's why Mormons are so happy. They get like 8 wives, and they're just like, I make butter.
You never heard of a Mormon suicide bomber?
They're so happy.
I wonder why.
There's something. Okay, when I'm gonna diverge from the God thing for a minute, and I'm really more into the Amish. Like, I don't know, they're doing something right because like. There's something about like I love the idea.
They're selfish with their own pussy.
No,
that
but
really what the
I love
is.
the idea of like waking up. You got like 18 kids, and like they all help you like grow food and milk cows, and then your wife churns butter, so she gives really good hand jobs, and you're just living a great life. That just seems like.
But you know
what
it is? You know what I don't like is the fact that they were so. Because see, imagine dating a Mormon girl, right?
No, Amish.
No, Amish. Sorry,
yeah.
Amish, right?
Yeah.
See, here is the thing. Amish are actually some of the smartest people that have ever existed. Like, you know what? If
they don't buy the bullshit.
If somebody is going to fuck my daughter, they have to be willing to give up their cell phone. And no pussy in this world worth me giving up my goddamn emails. It ain't happen.
Fuck, I'd give it up just to live on a Amish farm. Like,
are you kidding me?
Yo,
no, come on, no, you wouldn't last it. Like,
see, that's the thing though, is Amish people don't. That's why they're very. You have to kind of grow up with it because they know that if someone here's the thing. But they let them when they hit a certain age. They say you have a year to leave, and if you want to come back, you can. And most of them do.
Really?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's like they go because they understand.
But how do you not see that? If you've been through the same exact kind of life for 18 years,
but the same
and then
thing happens.
Thrown into the wilderness.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had to hunt
hold on, stop though. Switch it. Imagine going your whole life with cell phones, and then someone goes, "Go be Amish for a year, see if you come back."
I could never do
you
it.
Come back.
I couldn't do it.
But it's the same. That's how they've grown up.
That doesn't mean
that's why they don't like people coming in.
But you know what though? It doesn't mean that the religion is so compelling.
They don't. It has nothing to do with their religion.
Oh my God, no.
It's all about their way of life and the way they connect to the earth.
No. It's not about the way of life.
Yes, it is.
It's all about what you know. Because see, to me, like think about it. If I have to step out of my natural way of living, they're like, you know what? For a year,
you're gonna
you're gonna go on a silent.
You're gonna go back to
retreat.
Rwanda.
No. Listen, Rwanda is now the Dubai of Africa.
Really?
Oh my God.
Nice.
No. Do you know why?
What's the worst country in?
I don't know about what the worst country, but I'll talk to you about Rwanda specifically.
It's great now.
Rwanda, for two things. One, democracy is not for everybody. So the president of Rwanda is one of these guys. Like sometimes you need a strong man to get everybody in line. And
who would have thought?
And secondly, we got lucky because all these American and Chinese companies that want to do business in the Congo, because see.
Congo's the fucked up one, right?
No, oh my God. Congo is the richest country when it comes to natural minerals than any other.
But does the government control all of it?
No. But see, here's the thing. When you have 1,000 different factions all fighting each other, they have the most oil, the most diamond, the most gold, out of anywhere in the world, Congo is like.
I've always been amazed at how many resources in Africa and how many countries just couldn't
listen,
get.
There is resources and there is resources.
But that's what there's so many impoverished countries that have so many resources.
I'll tell you why.
Corruption. It's corruption.
No. But see, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Let me tell you what really makes a difference between Western countries. Because you will look at African countries like Congo, right? Congo has more oil, more diamonds, than anyone else on the map, right? But why is it one of the poorest countries in the world? You know what gave the white man the edge? You know what really did? Winter. Because see, remember what I told you. Everything is all about genetics and environment. Because see, winter taught the white man how to plan.
Yeah.
If you did not save your food,
that's what Christmas. That's
summer,
what Christmas was. It was like, yay,
right?
we made it through. We saved our food. Let's get drunk and fuck.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
we got through the winter. The winter's starting to end. We saved our food. We pickled our vegetables. Yeah, no, I know exactly. I know exactly. Yeah, it's
no, but like, see, listen.
Yeah.
If you did not save your food,
You died.
you died. For my ancestors, at any point of the year, they could always kill a wildebeest. They could always grab a mango off a tree. There was so much.
Yeah.
And then when we moved into a globalized world where we now have to deal with the globalized economy,
Yeah.
now things got different.
Scarce.
Because look, I'll give you an example, okay?
Yeah.
There is no Rwandan president that retired. It's either you die or you go to jail because the guy that is coming after you is now throwing you in prison.
Putin do. Yeah.
Exactly, right? But see, why does that happen? It's because everybody that comes into power doesn't give a fuck about who's ever behind. They just want to fill their pockets and fuck off. And winter is what gave the white man the advantage because they taught you to plan ahead. Now we are playing catch up.
That also kind of applies to like Caribbean places too. That
no,
are
but
like,
see, here's the thing though. If I bring this point up, like I have brought this point up on like another podcast in a conversation or like one of these like.
Did someone get mad at you?
Oh my god!
Really?
Oh my god! Like I've been called everything.
That's evolutionary biology in its simplest
right?
sense. Yeah.
Right? I've been called everything from self-hating to like, oh my god, like you like
self-hating is when white people just hate the fact that they're white. That's, to me, I'd rather someone who's super proud of their heritage than someone who just, like, I watched this video of this girl where she thought she was mostly from Ghana, like her ancestry. She's like, people from Ghana.
Was she actually black or not?
Yeah, she's black, but kind of. Like I could tell her, I'm like, oh, you definitely part white. And then so she, oh my god, everyone says I look like someone, like everyone I've met from Ghana is like, oh my god, you look like my sister. And then she's reading her. It's a specific DNA test that goes through like your like heritage and it's not like 23andMe. That's more like no, 23andMe is more like can you eat cheese sort of thing. This is more ancestry. She finds out on her mother's side that she's predominantly of European descent, and she almost starts crying.
She almost threw herself over a balcony.
She literally was like, oh, well, I'm an evil piece of shit. I'm like, how could you imagine a video of like a white guy who finds out he's part African and just loses his shit and like, fuck.
No, but see, but you know what it is though? It's because now it's cool. See, here's the thing. If she had found out in 1922,
I'm part white.
Just like I'm part white. You now I can go.
That was
now
the
I
thing.
can go to your high school. Because here's the thing.
No, because in the KKK it was one drop of blood, one drop of Negro blood. If they all did DNA tests, they'd be like, shit, I'm part Mongolian.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the end of the movie for you. Yeah. Now your job selling insurance.
See, that's
just like you know what I mean?
Science partially ended racism.
No.
To a degree, because it's like, we're all a bunch of shit.
See, science and racism. No, you have to understand, because see, everything is a question of whoever the interpreter is. Yeah. I'll give you an example, right? The Bible is called the King James Bible.
Well, no, the King James Bible is called the King James Bible.
Right? Yeah. So that means there is a motherfucker named James who sat down and be like, before
he ripped pages. He just ripped pages. Right? I don't like this one.
I don't like this one.
That's the fall of man. That's the fall of man.
Look at how religion and power for the longest of time worked hand in hand. Yeah. Like this is the king, the one chosen by God, and the ones that come from his loins shall also rule the country until the end of time.
But he went to hell.
No.
Imagine if he's in hell, like fuck.
He's like, if there is a hell, he has to. If there is,
he is for sure in hell.
If there is any form of fairness, he has to be in hell.
See, but that's how you know he didn't even believe in it, because he would know he went to hell.
But see,
right?
here's the thing, though: the people that also run the churches needed protection from the king.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So one hand washes the other, and they both wash the face.
Not for me.
Oh, what? You know what? Okay,
my hand washes itself.
I see how insensitive that comment was. Like you just said. There was a little bit of insensitivity.
My face washes my hand.
One hand washes the face, and the face washes the hand. Whoa! That was deep as fuck.
No, really.
That was like, listen, that shit should be on a t-shirt.
Should we get to the Mueller thing though?
Yes. Okay, you know what? You're right. Okay, so you gotta go home. Like, let's get to the Mueller thing, right?
Oh,
so let me. Yeah, I know. And so here is the thing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Mark my word. What's the date today? March 27th, 2019. Mark my words. January 20th, because that is when all American presidents get sworn, which is also my birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. January 20th, 2020. Donald Trump shall swear again for his
Do they have to get sworn in again if they win again? Course, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought just go, you got it.
Oh, no. They're like, okay.
Sit back down, you got it.
That's still you, fam. Go back to the office. Like, no. Like, he will.
He will 100%.
Yeah, like, I was, like.
I called it.
How did it make you feel when you found, like, okay, like, I don't know what your political views are, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm a news junkie to begin with.
Yeah.
One, because I'm a comic and, you know, I do a podcast, so I need to kind of keep in touch. But this shit has become like
crazy. It makes you fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like my girlfriend complains, and I'm like, we never watch any Love and Hip Hop. Goddamn it! Like
that's why I save it for when I'm like
I hog the TV.
Yeah,
No.
I
hog the TV.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Yeah. I am the captain now.
You know what? You know what's so funny is because I do look like a Somali pirate with a semi-regular fitness routine. Like if a Somali pirate
who got calories.
Who kind of goes to good life from time to time. You know, okay. So let's take it from the top. Did you think that he was gonna get found guilty? Like, I know you've probably been watching into it. Like, really? Like, no.
The moment I knew it was bullshit was when, and no one brings this up, is one of the heads at CNN was caught on camera. Someone who basically started working at CNN and did his own like recon work. Basically caught the guy saying on camera, "This Russia thing's just a bunch of nonsense." Like, even that was a year and a half ago, and I'm like, okay.
Let's put aside people like putting.
I just knew it seemed fishy. It wasn't until probably 3 months ago or so when I was like, it's for like I always said, let's wait for the Mueller report because this guy at work too. He was like, well, we'll see. Like, he's got such a hate boner for Trump. I call it a hate boner. He just, I don't know. But, and to an obsessive degree, and he's like, we'll see you till the Mueller report comes out. I'm like, I agree. I personally don't think he did, but let's see. And then it comes out, and he goes, well, that attorney general, he could be lying.
No.
And I'm like,
okay, but like, okay, so let's dissect it because, like, see, to me, I have a fascination with American politics because Canadian politics is fucking boring.
No, that just doesn't get much coverage, and ours is so much more covered up.
That is true.
Like the whole fact that they can go through all this stuff makes it literally just shows you that everyone thinks, oh, the American government, they hide a lot. I'm like, then why do we know so much about it?
No, but see, that is why I know the Canadian.
It's shady.
They must be getting away with the most
like
shit.
He got caught just with the SNC thing, and I'm like, well,
yeah,
fuck.
What was that actually? Like, talk about it. Like,
I don't know.
I know there was a scandal. Yeah. Like, but see, this is exactly what we're gonna tell you.
Basically,
like, I know everything that is going on with Trump. No. I know there is a scandal that happened.
That's real. That's like genuinely real.
You know what I'm saying? Like this month, like I don't even like.
And it took way less than 2 years.
I was gonna say Justin Bieber. I was like, I know there is a scandal that
Justin Bieber.
Like I literally was gonna say like there was a scandal that happened with Justin. I'm like, no, wait, no, Justin Trudeau. That's right. But see, I give But if you ask me everything about the Russia investigation, I can go into some gruesome details.
You know the names of people.
I know the names. Yeah. Like, see, to me.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Yes. Go ahead.
The short version of it is essentially there's this company that is on the there's a list of businesses that most countries will never do business with. Of the 120, 100 of them are associated with this.
I know. Yeah. How crazy is that?
And then so basically everyone knows that this place is corrupt. What made this one different was that Trudeau specifically asked for them to not be prosecuted for a charge because people have been trying to
see that's extreme.
No, but then the girl got fired.
That's obstruction of justice.
That's legit obstruction of justice.
You know what I mean? Like there
not Trudeau tweeting.
There is no middle.
Yeah, and I find it weird too that they tried to claim that Trump saying that this investigation is bullshit is obstruction. I'm like, he's just tweeting that this is bullshit. Like. All he's saying, like, imagine if you were actually innocent and you got Twitter access while you're in jail while your trial was going on. Like OJ, if he had Twitter, would be going, "This is bullshit." Yeah. Regardless of if he did it or not.
Witch hunt.
Every person in prison awaiting his trial, if they had Twitter, would go, "This is bullshit." But they can't affect. You can't affect the trial at all. That is true. Like he fired the one guy, which he's allowed to do, and then the new guy started the investigation, and he was like, "Go for it."
Okay, no, hold on. Okay, let's dissect that a little bit. Yeah. Okay, because there is a little bit behind that. One, there was the meeting at Trump Tower, where you had Donald Trump Jr., you had fucking Jared Kushner, who, by the way, I think is a real life Voldemort. This motherfucker looks like he can catch a tank.
Is he his stepson?
You know no. He is the son-in-law.
Yeah, of the Jew. So you think the Jews of Vulture continue?
No, that's not true. I'm not. No. Hey, listen. First of all, the fact that you're thinking that Jared Kushner...
You said he's a vulture. No. You said he's a vulture.
You said that Jared...
I think he's the chosen one, in my opinion. Chosen people, the Jews.
The fact that you said that Jared Kushner represents all Jews, that's
No. I said he's Jewish and you said he's a vulture. I'm just saying you call the Jew a vulture.
No. Listen. That's your Netflix special, not mine. You're the one that's it.
The vulture.
No. I said that he is the real life Voldemort. Because he...
Oh, sorry. He is an evil fictional character that you cannot name.
So him, Donald Trump Jr., had a meeting with his Russian lawyers. And there is an email where they're like, hey, we have some information that may be very necessary for your father. And Donald Trump Jr. was like, I love it. Yeah. Please, let's meet up. And then they were like, oh, no.
We got nothing.
We didn't talk about nothing. You know what you talk about? Adopting Russian children. I'm like, what?
I know, but here's the thing. You know, what we both know is not what was actually investigated.
No, oh, God, no.
Exactly, but that's the thing when I get, it's like when people... I don't get when people were like, we need to see what Mueller found because he knows more than us. And then when Mueller said we didn't find anything, they go, well, what about this thing? It's like, you didn't think he knew about that?
I am happy that Mueller did not put out what he actually found.
Well, what they have to do is they have to comb. Then when people are like, we need to release the whole report, that's against the law.
No.
Fuck
the law. Imagine.
Well, that's what would have got you.
No. Fuck all that shit. Yeah. Think about it this way. Imagine what would actually happen if Trump got impeached. Like, you really want to live in a world... imagine a world where Trump got impeached.
But people think that if Trump left, conservatism would die. No. Pence would take over, and then they'd find Ted Cruz would be president, which I would like. I would rather Ted Cruz or Dan Crenshaw.
No. It would be fucking Mike Pence.
But then he'd be the sit-in until the election.
But see, here's the thing, though. That's not really what the problem is.
Yeah.
Is these Trump supporters who are like, these fucking liberals.
Yeah.
Just fucking fisted it. Because see, you have to understand, the right...
Yeah.
has way more guns.
They have all of them. They don't have way more. When they say one gun per American, it's
Mueller saved the United States. Actually, no. Fuck the United States.
But
he saved North America.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. You are also making like the scenario you just painted sounds more like if he did find something but went for the good of the country, I won't do it. That's not what happened. He actually didn't do anything though. That's the funny part.
No, but see, like
it's a good thing though. You're right. You are right.
No. Think about it this way. If he had found something, because see, you have to understand what Trump believers think like. Because see, Trump is one of those people that is able to like see the truth. Okay. Let me break this down to you. Okay, you have to understand how this is a whole completely different political world. Do you remember who
celebrity?
No. Do you remember who John Edwards is? Do you know who John Edwards is?
That sounds like a generic white guy name that a lot of people had.
He actually, if you Google John Edwards, he does look like a stock photo of the perfect white man. This guy was running for the Democratic nomination against Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, right?
So they were all competing for their...
They were competing for each other, right? And John Edwards was next in line. He was the man that was chosen by God. He looked like a Kennedy. You see what I'm saying?
Inbred?
No.
They were pretty inbred.
No, it is the pretty white boy with the side, with the sidebar.
He was supposed to be the favorite.
No. Let me break it down for the folks.
Okay.
Right? So not only he looked like a Kennedy, he had been a senator for 10 years. He had everything. Clean record, wife had cancer. Like everybody was like, why?
That's funny. They said he had everything. His wife had cancer.
No. You have to understand. Like, no. Listen, in the world of public opinion,
he was
when people feel sorry for you, good things happen to you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shit came out.
What a selfish dick that he's running for president while his wife has cancer.
No, he has to. There was no better time than that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That is when politics was politics, right?
Yeah.
But see, here's what happened. It came out that John Edwards got his maid pregnant.
And then
what? Like, listen, he did not disappear. Like, we don't know.
Oh, he's the guy who fucked the maid while his wife had cancer.
Look, listen, you and I both don't know if John Edwards is alive or not. This motherfucker could have died last week.
He's removed from the conversation. I bet he committed suicide and Hillary Clinton shot him twice in the head.
We don't know. But see, that's how Obama now. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Donald Trump is the real true Teflon Don.
Yeah.
Nothing like not only evidence will come out that he's a piece of shit. Like a video will come out that says that like he's like, listen, I grab these bitches by the pussy. He will say
and my wife has cancer.
No. Do you think if Melania had cancer? Like, listen, not only this guy is able to ride like conflict after
it's because he's so unapologetic too.
But see, this no. But see, you know what it is though? It's the age of Twitter. Now it's different. Because see, back in the days, in order for you to win a politics,
the media
needed to be able to rise you. Yeah. Now, CNN can go on and be like, oh my God, Donald Trump Jr. sucked the dick of the Russian ambassador.
They can't say enough, and it still doesn't work.
There could be like, there could be a video of Donald Trump jerking off Vladimir Putin.
Like
it's
funny. It's funny too because they haven't like what they did with Beto when he was running against Ted Cruz. They had, because now that he's running against, like all these other people, now they're like, oh, he has no ideas. He fucking had a DUI.
He is a fucking clown, though.
He is. No, but that's the thing is when he was running, again, like the John Edwards guy, he was running against Obama. When they're all rooting, so they're like, which Democrat do we want? When it's Democrat versus Republican, they just go, oh,
who do you think is gonna get it? Who would you put your money on?
If I had to put my money on it, it's not Bernie.
Fuck Bernie.
No, because he's too communist.
Bernie, yes, he's a communist and he summons Bernie.
He is the definition of a guy who's never worked and is worth $5 million.
I know. Fuck you.
Figure that one out.
Like,
Figure that one out. Honestly, I think it's gonna be Kamala Harris.
You think so? Yeah, because a black woman, right? Like in this age.
No, because she hasn't taken an opinion on anything. All she says is this president is corrupt. And what she got asked, what do you think of the Jussie Smollet thing? She's a prosecutor. She did this for a living. She can spot out liars. She went, I don't really know. When it first came out, she was like, this is a modern day lynching. And then it's like, oh, he faked it. Well, we don't really know.
No, but how do you think she's gonna play off this because Donald Trump now. Donald Trump last week won the 2016 election again. Not only listen.
No one thought it was going to happen. They were like,
you motherfuckers for the last 2 years have been crucifying me. Yeah. And through your crucifixion, I still rose the economy. Yeah. I still fucking made sure that there are more.
And that's another one of the things I really like that he did is if you're a university getting federal funding, you have to obey the First Amendment. That's a great fucking bill.
Oh my God. Okay, let's talk about that. Because I did a solo podcast about that. So that is listen, to me, I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump because to me, I think he is too much like me. He's one of those people who just takes advantage of it. Because to me, I am one of those people that takes advantage of opportunities, but not on a nationwide aspect.
Okay, get to your point. You're going off of this random shit.
Here's the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay.
When 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks or 1 week ago?
When he signed
signed that bill that made sure that free speech was truth. Because universities.
Only if you're gonna get federal funding, you have to. So you're a private university, you can do whatever.
Oh my God! Listen.
That's part of the.
No, I'll give you an example. Okay, I have one of my really good friends. It would be weird for you to understand. I'm a young black dude, but one of the people that I admire the most in this world, and that was lucky enough to meet and have long conversation with, is Jordan Peterson. This guy, oh my God, dude! This guy, I've been at several parties with him.
Really?
And, oh my God! You don't like.
Is he a sodomite? I've always wanted to
No.
know.
I'm not gonna say some terrible things about Jordan.
Some lobster sex.
I could see how there is room for questions. You know what I'm saying? Who wears a suit every day of the week? No. There are
not just a suit.
I really 3-piece on a Sunday
with a lobster tie.
You know what I'm saying? It's just yo.
Onto it, Dave Rubin. It's a bit suspicious.
How many weddings are you really going to on a regular? I could see where
he's an interesting dude.
He is one of the smartest. And when the University of Toronto did that shit to him, that shit it not only broke my heart to a certain extent, but it was just it taught me about the country in which that we're living, right?
That there is no free speech here.
No. It's not even a question of free speech, okay? It's the ability to disagree has now been drowned.
Yeah.
And the moment that happens, the moment where human conversation is no longer possible, what's left? Violence.
And enforced thought, and which leads to violence. It's
the moment we can no longer talk about our differences, all that is left is violence.
Because if you can't talk, you hit.
See, to me, as somebody who grew up in a country where I witnessed the genocide, I am seeing the patterns building up. I am scared. There is a part of me that wants to move back to Africa. I'm like, this shit is about to go down.
And you guys already went through it, so you're like, oh, look at those guys living in the past.
No.
They don't know what's coming
yet.
Not
even that. I see the patterns.
Yeah, there's always patterns. History repeats itself.
The moment you tell somebody, you're like, yo, your point doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's either you are an ally, or
you don't matter.
Or you lose your job.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you believe that gender is a social construct.
You can't even get the sentence out.
Or you can. I know. Whenever I try to say it, like my tongue.
It just swells up like you just got bit by a spider.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just went down on a frog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just. But like the moment you set out the game to be that, then there is nothing left.
Yeah.
Then all that is left.
It's submit or die.
Exactly.
Cake or death. Do you want cake or death?
And I could see this shit coming.
Yeah.
And that is what when the Mueller report came out, and they found Trump, quote unquote, innocent, I was like, oh my God, thank the Lord. Like now I have to get my refund for my ticket back home because I knew when the Mueller report came out. Because see. Here's the thing. Remember we were talking about earlier. The right is well better armed than these lefties. You think you want to smoke? See, a lefty.
I don't want to be on the side with the hippies that can't even work a fucking car that's not a Prius. Like I want the, and that's if you're gonna go through Civil War, you want the guy that knows how to like build fences and knows how to use a sniper rifle and has like 8 pit bulls that on a like German shepherds where you go like Einstein's and then they fucking attack. Those are the dudes you want to be with.
But see, here's the thing though. It's like the truth be told, the left does not want this smoke. And
no, they think
eventually there are as many people that can lose their job over being called racist until this fucking thing tips
until more people have lost their jobs than the people who are taking them.
Until the conversation is no longer like, you know what? Okay. Now
you've taken away my livelihood if you think about it. So if someone makes you lose their job because of something that you thought of,
think about it.
It's like you took away my ability to feed my family.
Imagine
That's when
that.
your primal shit kicks in
and this
that
shit,
murderousness.
When most people think about it, they think that this shit is only happening to famous people.
Or bad people.
No.
Only bad people lose their jobs.
No,
right?
no, not even just bad people. But it's people who are like, okay, we're famous,
It starts with them.
this and that. Exactly. But see, now at this point, though, like, it's not just that.
Well, that's that famous shit, it's by design.
Right.
Because we've gotten to the point where celebrity forms culture. So if Hollywood can get rid of Roseanne, they can get rid of that guy who's Tim Allen, right?
Yeah.
If you can get rid of those people in this generation, it won't happen. But the next generation of like people that like watch Netflix and shit,
right?
They're gonna like all those celebrities that they that they looked up, all the ones that had the other opinion, they're gone. So now you have only the celebrities that want the shit.
The regular Joe Blow,
who
lost their job over a bad Facebook post.
Yeah.
Think about it, right?
It happens. It does happen.
All the motherfucking time. Like, people are
Remember that girl who made the African AIDS tweet and she went and fell asleep on the plane, woke up, and was fired? Because she was like, going back from Africa, I hope I don't get AIDS. Did that offend you, or that was...
No, but see, you know what it is, though? It's like, that's another thing, too, where, like, I could lose my job, is... I'm not easily offended.
Yeah.
See, there is a whole entire class of people who are expected to be like on the radical left.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people are like, how were you not?
Yeah.
Oh, like, and the fact that I am not like calling for murder is like
mind-blowing to them.
Now, my job is on the line. They're like, you know what? That guy has his gag reflexes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, see, and that becomes a problem because nobody is willing to have realistic conversation. Because see, let me tell you how this conversation will go with me, right? Yeah. I understand two things. Yeah. As human beings, right, we are programmed to look out for things that look different from us. Because see, and this is the same exact example that I have when it comes to monogamy, right? To me, I don't believe, like, when it comes to monogamy, I don't think, like, and that's my girlfriend right there.
You have to wait for her to leave.
But like, I would talk about it because you know what, she's smart. I'm lucky enough to have a woman that would be able to understand. See, I don't think men are faithful based on the fact that they're good.
Based on our biology, hell no.
No. Because you have to understand one thing. Monogamy itself as a concept is anti-evolutionary, right?
But
because,
people,
let me land this.
There's a counter argument for it.
But let me land this, and then you can share that kind
of
argument.
No, I don't
right?
feel the need to. I want to hear your point.
No, but like here's the point, right?
Yeah.
See, when the first Homo sapiens started walking the face of this earth.
Okay,
right?
I don't want to cut you off, but this one's so off track. And anytime about monogamy and
but I
said I know two things. So what are the two things?
No. Here is what the things are.
Okay.
Thing number one is when it comes to human beings, we are not in control. Like remember you asked me about free will?
Right.
I don't believe in free will whatsoever.
Okay.
Right? And I explained that quite substantially as when we were talking because I'm like, hey, listen, the reason why I make, almost $230,000 a year is not because I think that I'm special or I think that I have something that is going for me.
I think it is.
No, that's not true. I'm not special. I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough for two reasons. I was lucky enough that I was born in a family that has told me, hey, look, the fact that you're born in this family makes you different. And that shit was fucking implemented in me time over time. Yeah. So the way that I approach everything in my life, obviously, is going to be different from somebody who was told, like, yo, you ain't shit. But did I choose? Did I choose to be born in that family? How, there are people that were born in this country that would be like, okay, if I'm going to get the same exact life that he's living, I am willing to be born in a country where I would have to survive a genocide.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that I'm special. My environment, my genetics, the people that I grew up around have built whoever this is. Mm-hmm. But see, that gives you a sense of humility because you stop thinking that you're like, oh, listen, wait a minute. When you see somebody who's living a life that is different from yours, you don't look at them and be like, oh, and that is the thing that conservatives
they do that too much.
They're like, oh, pull yourself out by your bootstraps.
I feel like though people like liberals, they go too far in the other direction, which is nothing is your fault. Mm-hmm. It's the forces, and that force is X, Y, and Z, and that's why you're oppressed, and that's why you whatever. So I think.
But see, there's also the conservatives also have pull yourself by the bootstrap shit.
Right, but that
gets out of
the way I look at free will is you have no free will over if there's an earthquake.
Right.
So the way, like New Orleans was a great example of this, and compared to, I think it's the Netherlands or Sweden, I'm not sure. The Netherlands and Sweden have a very big, similar type of hurricane problem.
Right.
So New Orleans to me is like Sodom and Gomorrah. Right?
It actually is because of Ben.
But in the 1970s, there was this bill passed that was supposed to be a way for to prevent hurricane damage. Not necessarily because they know they're going to get damaged by hurricanes. There's a way to try to prevent as much damage as possible.
Right.
They didn't do any of it. So you have the quote unquote act of God or the natural disaster, which you cannot control. But there is a sense of free will over what can we do to help make this better and help go through a plan of fixing it. Same with the winter thing.
Right.
The people who didn't choose, the people who chose short-term gain over the long-term gain naturally died.
Yes.
So it's not even a choice of, and you can relate it to even like natural selection and all that stuff.
Do you see how if we do
there's
not
a both,
address...
No,
but see, here's the thing though.
You need both.
We get lost and like, oh my God, no, we're being taken advantage. Like, if we do not address things for what they are, we are solving the wrong problems.
Yeah. So if you don't address both of the I would never point my finger. If I look at like a homeless guy, there's no part of my brain that says that was either all his decision or none of it's his fault.
If you
think either of those two things without knowing anything,
right,
you're just making up shit in your head.
Right.
So if you look at any person and go, it's either none of it's their fault or all of it's their fault. Same with success. Because when you look at success, they go, well, he didn't do anything to get it, or it was just all his decision. If you can at least acknowledge that there's both of those things at play,
right,
then you can actually look at a scenario for what it is. Which
so
is,
you see why when I
course,
tell you what I'm like, yo, listen, like.
But to say that you didn't accomplish anything on your free will.
I did. But
you make a decision.
But it was
every day.
not. It's not because.
Yeah.
Because see, most people that like look at me and they're like, oh my God, you're so young and you do this and da 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 da. Like they try to make it seem like, oh, okay, on this pedestal you shall stand. But that is not like. But see, they're trying to.
I think that's what you.
No. Here is what I know is if you had the same exact genetics that I have and been through the same exact experiences, you'd have done the same exact thing.
So why are there twins that do different things?
No. But see, the twins that do different things, eventually there is something in the. Because remember, it's genetics and environment.
Right, but there are even like. Two, like I know. Show
me twins that have went through the same exact experience.
There are some 2-year-old twins that are completely different types of people.
That's 2-year-olds. That's 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Let's say when they're 14,
but they've been raised the same up until they're 13.
But see, let's say the one like when they turn 14, one of them loses their virginity before the other. Right? All it takes is one little tweak.
Right. Okay. What about for? You can have there are people with a big predisposition for alcohol addiction. There's a genuine gene in your body. Dr. Phil has it.
Right.
And he through his environment, he saw a lot of men in his family that were very smart men that fell to alcoholism, and he saw, so the environment was him being able to see it, and the genetics was that he also has this part of him that makes it easier. He said it was the hardest and the easiest decision ever to not drink.
I give you, you know what? That is a subject that I can easily speak on because I do have.
I'm Scottish. I got 100% of it.
Okay, so see, you can easily see. To me, like, see, I do get that because I have I enjoy drinking.
Well, I guess I was gonna say
no. But see, I'll tell you why though, because I don't drink because I enjoy fucking.
You don't want to escape.
You
just like drinking.
No. I enjoy drinking because I like who I become.
Yeah, some people become
when
horrible.
I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And, some people would they would drink, they would beat their kids, they would do
They're
this.
fucked up. Yeah,
to me, like for example, like I would drink and we'll have a conversation like this, and I get addicted to how, and this is the worst kind of that. See, there was one thing with like
at least if
being an alcoholic and being like, I hate who I become when I'm that person.
Yeah.
I love who I am when.
Well, that makes it harder to quit when it's not a problem. When it's not a problem, you're like, I'm great.
Yeah, because but see, I also understand one thing.
It's bad for you,
right? When I wake, it's not, like I don't give a fuck, but it's bad for me. I know who I become when I wake up in the morning, and I gotta go to work, and I cannot get my mind to be able to settle. But here's the difference for me: I don't look at it and be like, oh my God, I'm an alcoholic. Because see, the moment you put like an ism stamp, like it's the same thing with racism, alcoholism. It's the same. The moment you put an ism at the end of what it is that you're thinking, now you're saying that it's no longer your responsibility to change it. Now you need an external force to come in, because the moment you give up responsibility to fix yourself, you are accepting your shortcomings.
You're accepting that it's not your fault.
Yeah, it's no longer your fault. Well, see, to me, I know that, like, hey, listen, let's say I go out.
You're aware that you're making a choice.
Yeah, like
you've weighed out the options.
But see, the moment, like when I wake up, you know those nights where you fucking go ham and you wake up and you hate everything about yourself. And see, to me, like, I'll give you an example, okay? Like let me break this down. To me, I hate the idea of people saying that addiction is a disease, right?
Yeah, I do too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like, I've done cocaine multiple times in my life, right? Just shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've done cocaine, but see, here's the thing, though. Here's the difference between being addicted to cocaine and doing blow. Yeah. Right? Here is the thing. So I like doing blow because it allows this quick from my mind to think in a free fall way where it takes away all my day-to-day bullshit. Meaning that, like, oh my God,
puts you on track.
I have this report, like that. Like, it allows me to be able to concentrate in the moment. So I understand that if I make that choice to concentrate in the moment, there is a price that has to be paid for. And that price usually is me waking up the next morning and being like, oh, fuck.
I got 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I spent $1,000 at a strip club last night.
But I was so focused on them.
You see what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing, though. Here is why most people kill themselves when they go to, because see, most people don't kill themselves while they're doing the drugs. They kill themselves the day after. And see, here's the thing, though, with me. See, right?
Unless it's like fucking PCP, you lost your fucking mind.
But see, here's the thing, though. See, to me, I am able to have an honest conversation with what's going on. Because see, why? I understand when I do blow, what is really happening. The moment you do a line of cocaine, it expands the
dopamine,
the dopamine fucking receptors in your mind, right? So that shit fucking goes wide, right?
It makes you want more.
And when you stop, the next day your dopamine receptors are shot. Yeah. So no matter what good is going on around your life, eventually that shit is just gonna feel like shit. So to me, when I'm sensing that, the next day I'm like, oh yeah, no. I don't hate myself. My dopamine receptors are shot. All I need to do is take a shower, jerk off, and go to sleep. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to be better. Yeah. But see, that's what happens when you don't think addiction is something that needs to be fixed.
When you're not self-aware.
Exactly.
Also, yeah.
No, but see, that's why you need to be self-aware. Be like, you know what? What is really going on inside of me right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I liked me yesterday. What? You know what I'm saying?
I was fine yesterday.
I was fine yesterday.
I loved me myself.
I loved me.
I loved me some of myself yesterday.
So what happened today? Okay. You know what? Now I understand that
my brain
I'm in a
chemistry
position.
sucks.
My brain chemistry is out of. But see, that is when you decide to take control of what is happening.
So So would you agree that there is always an aspect of like environment and free will that are kind of dancing with each other?
No, but see, how did I learn this? Do you think I learned this because I moonwalked out of my mom's belly? I'm like,
no,
show me to the fucking line.
But you just made if
it is a compelling point. I get it, but again, the fact that I know it does not mean that I am special. That means I
never said free will makes you special. It just makes you human.
No. Free will, first of all, let's stop using that word because it's not a real thing. Okay,
well, to you, it's not. And what do you want me to call it? Choice?
No. Listen.
Decision?
The choices that you make are dictated already before you make them. All you can be is all that you have ever been. So here's the thing. No. I'll give you an example, right? Remember we talked about me surviving a genocide?
Yeah.
Right? So, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is like, you motherfuckers is getting way too deep. This is great. But see, for example, if I'm in traffic, right? Yeah. And somebody cuts me off.
Yeah.
I know this has the ability to be like, oh my God, I'm about to follow this motherfucker home, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that I have been through way worse, I do not get to that point. But the fact that I've been through way worse, does that make me better than you? The fact that you...
I don't know why you keep bringing better into it, though.
No. But of course, because you could decide.
It makes you... You're better at handling that.
How many people... No, but how many people are serving life in prison based on
a heat of the moment thing. Most murders are committed when you're drunk, and it's totally not planned. Exactly, yeah.
Right? So what makes it different? Why is it that in the heat of the moment thing? Because I'm not in this special.
Well, alcohol also reduces your inhibition, which is why most murders take place when you're drunk and around family. If you want to commit a murder, you are most likely going to do it around family while drunk.
That's why I go home only once a year, goddamn it.
And you're sober as fuck.
We don't even talk. Like we don't even fin. Like let's
fuck Mueller.
No. We have to talk about it because most of our potential future audience. By the way, I gotta say this, like I am auditioning for a future co-host because I'll tell you why. See, I used to do this podcast with my girlfriend, and
she's just like, I'm done.
No. She was very dedicated. It's just like opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them, but like it's just
you don't want to hear anyone else's.
No, that's not true. Like
no, but that's the joke. Everyone's gotten an asshole.
But you know what it is though. Like you know what I like about you. If we go through like the amount of like each other's talking has done, but see, at least you justify why you believe the things that you do,
or at least why I don't know why I do. Yeah, you're like why I'm not sure about things. You gotta be honest.
When an opinion is not justified, that shit
or not even honest. When you can tell someone's lying, like when you were like, did you ever did you watch like the Rogan thing when he was interviewing the people from Twitter?
No.
With the lady and Tim Pool was there and all that. You could tell that Jack and whatever her name was,
Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey and the other lady. You could tell that like they didn't believe what they said, but they were just saying it. And even if they did believe it, they knew it was bullshit.
Two Jack Dorsey interviews. One was Jack and just.
And then Tim Pool was basically grilling them about like, how come you censored these people and not others? And like, well, they went over our guidelines. And he's like, well, they clearly didn't. And it's like, well, we're not sure about that. And you go like, we know you're not being honest.
Have you ever watched who's the Secretary of Education? What's that lady's name? Now I'm having what's her name? Like the Secretary of Education in the States. She's this billionaire lady. What the fuck is her name? God damn it!
She better be smart.
No, it's coming. No. She really got. What the fuck is her name? Okay, I have to Google it now. I hate Googling on the podcast, but like I have to now in this moment because U.S. Secretary of Education. I have to because it's
important to the...
Yeah, no. Like it just
and for your own brain, for your own sake.
Yeah, for my own sanity. It is the only way that
So you were right.
I will hug my mom.
You didn't choose to Google this. Your body's forcing you to Google it.
It's the only way.
I have to do it.
Body privilege of education. I know she has some sort of fucking North European name.
Northern European.
Yeah, you know what's so funny?
Welsh?
Like half of our listeners are gonna know already before and this has been I'm gonna have to edit this out. It's like, how long was this struggle? Hold on, let me find out. God damn it, I shouldn't be drinking. Betsy DeVos. Oh my God. Okay.
So what about her?
If you ever listen to this woman talk,
yeah. I'm gonna YouTube some speeches now.
Oh my God,
Betsy DeVos.
DeVos. Betsy Betsy.
Yeah, not with a Z.
Farmer's daughter name.
Betsy. That's a dog's name.
DeVos is like yes, it's
Betsy. Betsy.
You kill me, bro. You kill me. But this lady has the ability to avoid questions beyond belief.
It's an art. It's an art to avoid questions. Holy shit.
My God. And they will ask her hey, kids with autism shall no longer read because you cut out of the budget.
Yeah.
It should be well, the buildings in which they read are you know, like the way that we had to do it, the buildings needed new foundations.
Why is the federal government even involved with education to begin with? It's such an overreach of like.
It has to be.
It's just so much shit they control, where it's like that's the thing of. I found it weird that some of the people that were like. Fuck the establishment, all that, and they're like, we want smaller government. Like if I were to be the ideal man, it would be Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. Because when I first watched Parks and Rec, I'm like, this guy's funny, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, holy shit, he's right. Holy fuck, is he ever right? Like one of my favorite episodes is when this girl comes in and then she has to do a report on why government is important, and he's just like, the mom comes back, she's like, she was supposed to report on government important, and he's like, He's like, she just wrote it isn't, and he's like, I couldn't have put it better.
But you know what it is? It's because look, at the end of the day, bro, I believe that when you dial it all down, Darwin was right. It is survival of the fittest. See, I'm a black man in North America.
We get it.
Okay. You know what? Listen, let me tell you something. Allow me to enjoy it, motherfucker. Like, allow me. This is my time. Like, no, but like, no. Listen,
did you survive a genocide? I forgot.
That's what makes the podcast special. He's just like, oh my God, he's a genocide survivor. Is he a Jew? No. But he has Jew privilege.
Yours was way more recent, so props to you.
Not only was much more recent,
but
I survived. Look, listen, I remember being under the bed with a coughing fit and my dad telling me, listen,
shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's
or you're gonna
crazy.
get a scalp. Like, see, like it's not that like see, most Holocaust survivors are like 90. Like they survived the Holocaust when they were like 3, and then they've been through like divorces and shit. Like most of the time when
yours, I'm pretty sure the
like,
Rwandan genocide was the last. What was the most recent? Like that's the last. Like big scale.
Well, yeah, you have big scale.
Because it was like 3 million people.
Yeah, no, not like it was about 800,000. But see, the difference is it was a civil war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a civil war is when neighbors kill neighbors. Bro, you see the scar on my cheek right here?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a man who my parents.
This is how all great African stories start. There was a man.
At some point.
There was a man.
No, it's either a man or
I really
there was a panther.
there was a cougar.
There was a tiger. Like no.
This
but
elephant.
Like,
but yeah, so
but like
there's a
real
guy
talk.
who,
Like, see, listen. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to tell you about. Like, and this is what
happened to your face?
No. But like, I'm trying to like kind of relay it to the whole conversation we've been having.
No.
It's when the moment conversation starts becoming the meme.
Yeah.
Now suddenly we're polarized.
Yeah.
So there was a man that had been because see, you have to understand, like back home, like I come from like this family, like my great grandfather was the first ever ordained lawyer in my country.
Cool.
Right? No. But see, we used to be, because see, okay, I'll tell you how the whole Tutsi Hutu. You want me to give you a background? Like, allow me.
I just know that they didn't like each other because of the Danish, the Dutch, whatever the fuck.
Let me break it down to you.
Okay, it wasn't the Dutch though.
Thank you for sharing your ignorance.
I watched the movie. All right, that's all I fucking know.
I know. Listen, fuck that movie. That movie cheeses the fuck out of me.
Of course it does.
Do you know why?
It's like Schindler's List.
Are you making out on the rooftop? What people are dying in bathtubs? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, but see, let me tell you how.
Like, what's the basic reason?
Okay, so let me get into like, and then we're gonna conclude it this way, right? So, Rwanda before World War I used to be a German colony.
Okay.
Right? See, the Germans, all they gave a fuck about was the minerals. We're gonna come in. We're going to get our diamonds. We're going to get our gold. you niggers do your own thing. You do your thing. We don't give a fuck, right? And then the Germans lost World War One.
They had to give up all their...
And then the Treaty of Versailles divided all German colonies amongst the countries that won. So suddenly Rwanda now became a Belgian protectorate.
Right.
We were not a colony.
Yeah.
We were a protectorate. Like, oh my God, we must protect you against
the Germans,
potential lions, Germans, and all. And all.
Was it one of those things that started as good intentions, but as all things, they just could turn to shit?
I don't know, but see, there was no good intention ever because it was all about extortion.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing: when the Germans were running the show, because I'll give you an example. Okay, Rwanda is one of the very few countries in Africa that never participated in slavery. Because the king believed that the life of his people was worth more than a couple mirrors and pearls. Mm-hmm. You understand? So they were...
Especially at the time, that's a strong belief.
Oh my God. No. Because they were feisty. They fought. They were warriors.
It's nationalism. It's like, these are my people. Why would I sell my people?
I know. But see, not only they considered they were people, but white people were like, we don't want to go to war with them because now we have to like ship. Like, see, war wasn't like what it is now. If Iraq fucks around, you can fly 2,000 people in a day.
Yeah, now you ships.
Back then you needed like it would be like
ships.
Along 6 months. So if a motherfucker is not willing to play along, it will be a problem. You see what I'm saying? So fast forward.
World War I, Germans. World War
Okay,
after World War I,
so now
Belgium.
the Belgians come in.
Yeah.
And the Belgians have a different type of plan. First of all, we must introduce you to Jesus.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? He is your savior.
Yeah.
And you must know him.
Yeah.
As you must, right?
Whether you want it or not.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Now, here is what the problem was.
Yeah.
The kingship, like the royalty in Rwanda, were the Tutsis. The Tutsis had been running the country for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But they were not cooperating. But here is what the problem was.
Yeah.
Hutus were 90% of the population.
Right.
But the Tutsis were 10%. So the Belgians are like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're not going to cooperate? So they go to the Hutus. They're like, why?
Yeah.
You're 90%.
They're 10%.
Why are you allowing for this to happen?
Yeah.
And that is when the Hutus woke up. They're like, yeah. What the fuck?
So what? Like when you say the Tutsis ran, like was it like a genuine?
No. This is before that. This is the 1940s.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the early 1930s.
So this rivalry started once the Belgians were like...
No. But see, the Hutus for a long time were okay.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying is they were... I'm trying to look at... When they say like Tutsis are 10% of the population or whatever...
they always have for thousands of years.
I know, but I'm trying to just paint a picture of politically.
Okay, let me allow you to paint a picture.
Was it like a more of a dictatorship?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I will tell you why. I'll say it's all depending on the value system in the country. See, Tutsis were cattle farmers.
Were Tutsis the Jews of Africa? Where it's like there's not many of them, but they own everything.
No, it wasn't the same. Like Tutsis, like in my country, particularly speaking, right? Mm-hmm. They were cattle farmers. Hutus were land farmers. See, if you own cattle back home, you were in the upper echelon.
Okay, you had more value.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So now the Belgians look at it. They're like, okay, the only way that we get this country under our control is to create a division.
Yeah.
Right? So they go to the Hutus. They're like, listen, niggas, yo motherfuckers is 90% of the goddamn population. Quit playing yourself.
Yeah, kill them.
You know what I'm saying? And the Hutus are like, oh, yeah, like, so, some done did go down out here. Like, what the hell is happening? So in 1956, we got our referendum, meaning the referendum is when white people were like, how do you guys feel about freedom? We're not offering it to you, but vote to let us know how you feel. That's what a referendum is.
That's what they did with like Brexit. They're like, surely they wouldn't win.
Exactly.
And then they're like, we want out. And they're like,
howdy doodly do.
Shit, I thought you guys would say no.
Right? So the referendum get passed, and then the 1960s come about, and then we get our independence, and the Hutus are like, oh my God, we are goddamn awakened. And so now the Belgians...
So the Belgians don't rule over the country anymore.
Oh my God, no. But see, now it came a time where, like in the 60s, that's when a lot of these colonies were getting their freedom.
Because after World War II especially, you can't have a colony.
You cannot be colonizing motherfuckers.
That's your Hong Kong.
You know what I'm saying? It was weird now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, all of a sudden, these motherfuckers come about to the Hutus. They're like, no. Listen, we got to get the Tutsis out of here. Right? Yo, in 1954, they start not only burning Tutsis' homes, but they start like fucking robbing them. So a lot of them migrated to the surrounding countries of Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, Congo. A lot of them migrated to the jungle. And by the way, at that time, there is no immigration policy going on.
Yeah, you're just in the jungle and then you end up in a new, country.
If you did not die from malaria,
you can come. You pass your malaria test. You're good. Yeah.
Right? So they burned their houses, they took their homes, and then 40 years later, so now we're talking about 1954.
Yeah.
Now fast forward to 1990. The children of the Tutsi immigrants that left the country in the 50s are now grown up. They grew up in the country. They've been bit by mosquitoes. They are warriors. They are, and the Hutus now
they're relaxed.
They're relaxed. They have had 40 years of eating margarine and jerking off.
Eating margarine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're comfortable.
They thought they solved their problem.
They're like, oh my God, we did it.
Yeah.
Suddenly now in 1990, the Tutsis attack for the first time.
Yeah.
And shit gets real. But see, the Hutus knew that they could never win a one-on-one war. So they needed to involve the population in the country in order to settle this problem.
And the United Nations.
And see, here's the thing, though. At that time in the 90s, especially in the country in Africa, every single piece of media was literally controlled by the state. So,
which are the Hutus.
Yes, the Hutus. So now they have this one radio station that says, hey, the Tutsis are coming for your children. They're coming for your daughters. They're coming for your wives. They're going to take your jobs. Same exact shit that we're seeing now, right?
Same shit that the Tutsis were being told. Like, they literally just reverse. Hutus,
were
being told that the
they're
Tutsis
being told,
were
they're like, listen,
no, but I'm saying
coming. They're going to rape your wives. They're going to take your jobs. They're going to steal your houses. And the government needs your help in order for you to survive.
What was the actual difference? Is it like the Hutu and Tutsis? Were they like... What was the difference? Was it a religious belief that made them different? It was literally just a made up...
Listen, let me tell you what the difference between Tutsis and Hutus was, okay? The Belgians decided in a simple way. If your nose
fucking shit.
That is literally what it was.
Seriously.
Right? Like that is literally what it was. Yeah. It was the idea of, hey, if you come from this side of the country and your nose is this long, then you're a Tutsi. If your nose is this wide, you were a Hutu. That is literally what it was. It was physical
so if you had a long,
attributes.
Thin nose versus a wide
if you had a long, thin nose, you were a Tutsi.
And Hutu.
I'll give you an example. Okay, so my mom is Tutsi, my dad is Hutu, because Tutsi women were much more beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And my dad grew up in like this rich family. He's like, listen, I'm gonna get me some good pussy. You know what I'm saying? But like, he had to pay an extensive amount of money to get my mom new IDs and her family new IDs in order for them to survive the genocide.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But the point that I'm trying to make is this. So in 1990, now, you have to kind of talk about the, because see now the international community got involved. Because now the war got real and white people started dying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now they're like, okay, this is a problem. We got to get into
They tried
this.
it's like a bar fight when someone tries to step in the middle. Like some girlfand's like, guys, calm. And she just gets hit with a bottle. And it's like, fuck.
Now suddenly it's a real problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing, though, that I'm trying to say, is what created that was the fact that people were not exposed to a different side of her opinion.
Yeah, they just been told the one thing, and these people are horrible. Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you get told, like, these people with guns, they're all NRA crazy people that want to shoot. They want children to get shot up in schools. And then they go, those people want kids to die. I hope they don't come after me. It's that same sort of shit.
And see, but you know what, though? That is why I am so happy that the Mueller report come out saying that Trump was guilty. Because because Trump has been doing his work already. He's like, he wasn't worried about this. It's like, yo, if I get found guilty, everybody gonna die. Everybody dead.
That's why I think that's the reason I think he definitely isn't guilty, because he just was like, I'm gonna keep doing the thing.
No, listen. He went on TV. He's like, Russia, if you can find the missing 30,000 emails,
from Hillary.
He said, come on.
Yeah, because they just disappeared out of nowhere.
If you cannot find the evidence, it doesn't mean that shit wasn't done. There is a lot of motherfuckers that do.
Okay, but one of the theories is that this was somewhat of a just because you can't if you think Trump did or not, regardless. If you don't think that what Hillary did, which was completely out of line, then she should for sure. Like people ex-CIA were like, she should be if I did that, I'd be in prison right now.
Right.
100%. So
it's the same thing as Jussie Smollet.
Yeah.
If I made a false,
you'd be in prison. You should be.
But the only difference is he's gay. And
you just have to say you are.
No, you know what? Now I got my LGBTQ card in my wallet at all time. If I get pulled over and the police is
hold on, before we wrap up,
let me see your license.
Before we wap up, what happened with the scar though?
Okay.
So I know you're.
So the scar, yes. Okay. So I guess to end the story with
the scar.
Okay.
I really want to know what happened.
No. But see, here's what happened. So there is a man that my family trusted for a long period of time. So when the Civil War started, right? My parents decide that because see, my family most of the time we lived in our country home, which is about 2 hours from the capital.
Yeah.
Right. So then my mom and dad decided they're going to go found my mom's siblings who were still in the capital after the war had started.
Yeah.
And they left me at home with one of the maids. And this man who my family trusted enough that when they went, because we lived in a rich neighborhood where sometimes people will go off to Europe, like a husband and wife, they'll leave their kids and then they have the neighbors watch them and then they will do the same thing for
community.
So this man who had watched over us several times, he decides to come into my parents' house. He kills our maid. And then he's like, you know what? I could kill you, but half Hutu, half Tutsi babies deserve to die a slow death. So he cut me, thinking that he cut my jugular, right? But he cut too far up. And he left me, but he left me there to bleed out. If my mother had not found me, if she had found me 2 minutes after she did, I would have bled out to death.
Wow. So that scar, because how old were you at this point?
It was in 1994. I was born in 1989, so 6 years old.
So because I'm guessing from where it was lower when you got it.
Oh my God! Like it was
because your skin has because you've grown up.
Yeah, no,
and it's
like,
moved up, right?
Yeah, but like it just like he cut and then like I had to get like stitches, but I get keloids.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like he tried to really like. He tried to really cut, but like he had just killed my maid.
Yeah.
If he had not just killed my maid, he would definitely have killed me.
Yeah, because he would have had. Was he trying to get the fuck out of there or something?
No. Yeah, what? Like
he just murdered someone.
No, but there was that element of guilt. It's just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But see, he killed my maid, and then he was like, I could kill him right now, but let me teach his dad about racial etiquette.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's what I never get about that, because they drew the line about nose size, for fuck's sake. Like when people say like, oh, white and black, it's like, dude, you can draw that. That's the thing with demographics. When you blame a demographic, you can pick nose size, hair color. If you say this group of people is the problem, some fucked up shit always happens.
But see, the thing is, generally, it's not like a group of people is a problem. It's because it is in somebody's
best interest.
Like it's somebody would tell you like, they are against us, motherfucker. Who is you? Who is us?
Anytime there's such a tribalization, because you said before, like the Belgians kind of like, hey, I feel like it's always someone else going, hey man, you see what those guys are doing to you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where the whole big man in the sky who's oppressing you, that's where it comes from, of just like, do you see what they're doing to you?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they go over here, you see what they're doing to you? And like that's like that crazy bitch who tries to get her boyfriend to fight someone. Do you see what they're fucking doing over there? I think he just called you a bitch. You need to go punch him in the face.
But see, and that is why the answer to it is to have genuinely honest conversations with like,
and not be afraid of
wait a minute,
that shit too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wait a minute. And that is why, like, for example, I will never buy into the people who are pro Jussie Smollet, but I will never buy into people who are pro Candace Owens. So, like, you have to be able to be like, question everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody who is too...
No sacred cows.
Exactly.
You got to slaughter us. If the moment someone says you can't talk about this, that's when you know there's some shit about it.
Exactly.
I think that's a good place to end
And
it.
I think that's a good place to end, man. Bro, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was cool.
Where can people find you?
Instagram, Jameson Comics, spelt like the whiskey, like Jameson, Jameson comic. I don't have Twitter because that's a fucking hellhole. If you want to follow me, just do Instagram. I don't post much, but if you want to come to a show, I'll put something on there that'll tell you where to go.
And I am Roby Hollywood, a brand name like Pepsi. Roby Hollywood on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I just got the name early when the social medias first came out. Other than that, man, we'll see you next week. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate your love. And remember, I said what I said.